Welcome, everybody, to the Making Awesome podcast. It's episode 235, which I've just seen Jacob has titled Leaks and Beats. So it could be a food show. It could be about a bamboo leak or a beatdown from a large company against a smaller one. But we'll leave that one up to you. Thank you all for coming here and hanging out. We're going to be talking all about the new Bambu H2S leaks that came out because they're definitely not following the Apple principle. Not to say there's anything wrong with that as far as marketing goes. I just personally despise it. We've got the Galactic Armory and Games Workshop shakedown that happened.
Yep.
Be discussing all about my interactions working with Sam Crack, the YouTuber, since that came out in the last 2 weeks. And of course, the Bamboo Farm software that just hit version 1 somehow completely for free. Even though they said it wouldn't be, but it appears this one instance will be free. So I'm very interested. And I think you all will find our takes on it quite unique. Quite unique. Quite unique.
I still haven't formulated what my takes exactly are. It's still ruminating. So we can experience that live.
I like how the chat's like, free.
Don't worry. Free is definitely going to be one of the topics.
Yeah. So let me just update a little bit on what's been going on here. We have been moving quickly internally to make a brand new channel for the podcast. That does not mean the show is going away from 3D Musketeers, but it means those of you who like to enjoy the show and have it be edited down with less fluff and things like that, that will all be available to you soon, TM. So yeah.
It's looking good. It is looking really promising. I am actually quite hyped for it because it allows you to have both the unedited live, us talking about random crap all the time, as well as a nice hyper curated, it's cut down, a bit of the chaff is gone.
Yep.
So depending on how much time you guys have, you can choose which one you prefer.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And I guess before we get too deep into it, big thank you to our sponsors of the stream. We've got Construct 3D, Printed Solid, and, obviously like, subscribe, donate, all those fun things, but we will talk about them a little bit more toward about the hour mark into the show. So let's dive into it. The Bambu H2S, or at least that's what the manual is calling it.
Yeah.
Right? H2S. What are your thoughts on this?
It's weird. So initially I was like, okay, so we have a name for it.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at the PDF. So the PDF got removed from Bambu Labs' website link. So there was a direct link that you could get the PDF from.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, as we are a good community, somebody rehosted it.
Of course they did. It was rehosted. I bet it was rehosted before it was posted onto Reddit.
100%. So I had a quick read through of it. There wasn't actually that much information that is usable.
Mm-hmm.
So it was literally just how to attach a pen plotter or a drag knife. We don't really care about the application process. It's more like what it's trying to tell us.
Right.
I did notice some things though, that the diagrams weren't always consistent. So some of the diagrams had 2 filament inputs with 1 nozzle.
I didn't notice that.
Will. Yeah, there's 2 coupling tubes going to what looks like a single nozzle output printhead. And that's what I thought was a little bit weird. And I couldn't find a date in the metadata for the PDF. So I don't know how old this PDF is. So there is this little inkling in the back of my head that this might be an old document where they haven't finalized the name. Because obviously we had the leak from
The
2 streams
X2
ago.
Pro. Oh, no, it was longer than that. The X2 Pro.
Yeah, the X2
Right?
Pro, which does sound more feasible in my eyes
That was 5 ago.
than 5 ago.
Yeah.
Bloody time keeps moving on. We're getting old.
Yep. Yep.
But no, like, so the X2 Pro in my eyes is a better name than the H2P, H2S,
H2S.
H2S.
Yeah.
Yeah, H2S. Just because while the S is cool for meaning single, and I kind of understand that.
Yeah, H2D for dual, H2S for single.
Yeah.
But the 2 can be a
But the
little
2
bit.
is.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, why didn't we start with the way Hummer did it, with the H1 and then the H2, which nobody really liked, and then the H3, which wasn't much better, and then the new Hummer, which they just used the same name of Hummer, which is electric. Boogie woogie woogie.
Yeah, but that's like the whole point is I don't know which name they're going with now. And both of them make sense, but they also
Well,
both don't.
That's part of the idea, though, and part of the plan, right? Apple does the exact same thing, right? Oh, oopsie, we accidentally leaked something. We'll get it taken down. And don't worry about it, you silly gooses. There's nothing for you to see there. Of course, there's plenty for you to see there. It's intentional. And it's, look, I'm not a fan of the way that companies do this. Like, just put teasers out, okay? Don't play this whole oopsie daisy on us because, like, I like to believe we as a community are not that stupid, but then I see how the community reacts, and I'm like, well, maybe we are.
Okay.
Maybe
Let
we
me throw
are.
you a curveball then. Let me throw you a curveball. What if it's a second leak that isn't the same machine?
There's a whole side of that as well. So, Bambu is kind of notorious for doing multiple engineering projects at once, right? And ain't nothing wrong with that. If they've got the engineering department to do it, God bless them. Go for it, right? I'm down. But they don't often release machines on the same time schedule they used to. It used to be like once a quarter, you were getting a new Bambu machine, right? So we had the P1S, and then the next quarter it was the P1P, which is a stripped down P1S, right? I believe the H2S, even though they're using the A-series head, or at least it appears they're using the A-series print head, cooling fans,
it does look like a modified head.
Yeah.
It does look modified.
But it appears that this machine is built with all off-the-shelf components that already exist in their engineering department. What they're trying to do is build a better price point machine to bring people into that slightly larger machine. So the way that I look at the H2S, this, assuming it is, just a single nozzle version of the H2D, it's the X1 carbon killer.
Yeah. Like, honestly, I think this is the machine they should have launched initially. This is the bigger
It's not their style.
X1.
It's not their style, right? Their style is to give you the Rolls-Royce first, and then if you want the Chrysler 300, you could go for that. But we're going to start you with the only option being the Rolls-Royce. So the early adopters immediately get involved with this and sing its praises because, I'm sorry, the engineering in that machine still, we are firmly of the belief that price point is way too low for that machine. There's no chance, without manufacturing well beyond my knowledge base, that they are making a reasonable profit on that machine. We believe that, it's a little bit more complicated than that. But that's okay for a Rolls-Royce. For the Chrysler 300, if you will, no, it's not. You have to value engineer that thing. I think the P1P is a great moneymaker for them. You can easily manufacture that for less money because it's the same as a P1S with less stuff that humans need to work on. And it's where you have touch points, right? Where a human has to touch something. That's where
Side
things get
panels,
expensive.
lids, those sort of things are always human applied because they have to be clicked in. Now the frame, that's not human
They
applied.
could be machine applied. They could use a
Okay,
robot.
they could be,
They might not be.
but it's unlikely. Like side
Yeah.
panels are so easy just to go and pop it in, where setting a machine up to do that, it makes sense for a European market. It doesn't make sense for a Chinese market where labor is so plentiful. A person
And cheap.
is easier because you don't need to teach them. You just
Mhm.
go click it in. A robot you need to teach. And teaching a robot takes time and money and programming. And a person you go just push the panel on and they'll figure it out.
Yeah, but programming the machine means you can do like lights out manufacturing. And it
Hire
doesn't
two
need
people.
breaks. 3 more specifically. But yes, yeah, you can hire more crews. While machines take longer to train and all of that, once they're trained, they don't make mistakes.
It's true.
Right? So there is the benefit of that. We cannot comment on how Bambu Lab does their manufacturing, right? That's just ridiculous for us to even attempt to comment on that.
The only thing I've ever seen of Bambu Lab manufacturing was from their Kickstarter video, because it's the only thing they've publicly shown of what I'm going to assume is an early stage of their factory, because they have grown so much bigger than their Kickstarter. What was it, like 6 years ago now? 5 years ago? No, 3.5. 3.5 years ago, because they launched at the same time we launched. And the only things they really showed was automatic welding, automatic punch stamping. So they were stamping all the metal plates out. And there was one other step, but I can't remember what it is. And they've definitely got an injection molding system.
Oh, they have to.
That's
I mean,
pretty much it.
their plastics
all
are
we know.
beautiful. Their molds are in good shape. At least on my X1 carbon, I don't see a lot of like mold issues, right? They've taken their time to figure out their molds. And you know, for me, the X1 carbon is a good machine. It is the Prusa Mark III of the 2020s, right? A machine that even 5 years later, right? It's 5 years old?
3.
3?
Because they launched when we launched.
Okay.
We
So
went public 3.
a machine
So it was
even
3.
3 years later is still the de facto standard for what you compare every other 3D printer to. And for the, I guess, pre X1 carbon days, from the Mark III all the way to the X1 carbon, the Mark III, Mark 3S, S Plus, whatever variant of it that you want, that was the de facto standard that you compared everything to, right? So to me, the X1 carbon has kind of taken over that standard. If the H2S, price-wise, it would have to be darn close to what the X1 carbon combo is going to cost, right? A price ladder there doesn't make a ton of sense to me. It makes sense to just functionally replace it and move over to that 320 millimeter build volume, which is a good size. It's not as big as we want, right? But it's a good size.
But as I said last time, like the 300 mil space, like build volume sector is the small size of industrial. Anything smaller generally isn't industrial. You can categorize machines of big volume industrial, small volume not industrial. That 300 is the blurring point. It's not enough to say it's 400, which is in the industrial category, but 200 is in the consumer category. There's no real industrial equipment that is smaller than 400. So you've got this little blurry line in the middle, and that's where they're setting themselves. And it does make for some quite interesting complications. And as a lot of people in the industry know, don't always provide very easy to understand solutions. You want to provide a complication.
Yep.
Because if somebody say they're going to buy an Ultimaker, if there's just this nice bullet point list of 2 machines, they just can see which ticks they need. Like, oh, this is here, I'm going to get that one. But if you add a complication, you can start adding question marks into certain areas of the, well, yes, they might be this technology that we require, But this has this, and that is a complication. It makes that decision process harder.
Right.
And by making it harder for other people, it pushes more towards your camp. And that's what I think this push towards the 300-ish space really does. Because print volume is something you can't buy. It is literally, once you've bought the machine, you can't upgrade that machine to a bigger print volume.
Not easily.
So they're really pushing onto it.
It can be possible. But it is literally just easier to build a whole new machine.
Name one commercial 3D printer you can upgrade the size of the build volume.
I'm trying.
You can't say us. You can't say us. You know we do that, but you can't say us. Or Luke's Lab.
Oh. So okay. Okay. All right.
Which one
of us is American again? Because all of the sudden, I just saw the goalpost get moved heavily. I didn't realize we were the U.S. of the space race. Okay. Right.
I'm gonna argue that Luke's Lab and us, because we make very high quality stuff, we've designed it so we can make modifications. I'm talking like Elegoo, Creality, like none of those machines you can really change the build volume of. They're set. I don't think I can think of one. Unless it's a bespoke machine manufacturer, I don't think there is any. Oh no, I've thought of one. I have thought of one.
Who?
Bodix.
You can't just easily make it bigger. You have to like replace tons of stuff to do it.
Yes, but there is a path to do that. You will hate yourself, but there is a path.
Offering a path versus... That's getting too deep into the weeds, in my opinion. Like, and I guess there are a couple of... The Zone Star Z9 V5 is apparently one that can do it too. Like, okay, at some point, the Ender Extender is also an upgrade path for bigger build volume, right? Like, it's not an officially supported upgrade path, but it is an upgrade path. So... John Stern was saying that he's can't stay the whole time, but he was going to be heading back into open source. But he saw the Yuimake UV printer, their E1, at open source, and he said it's an overused phrase, but I'm calling it a game changer. And so I don't disagree. I've seen the Yuimake E1 in person. Hilariously, it was from Strange Parts. It was Scotty's when we went up to the Electric Ranch. He was still filming some of the B-roll shots and things. The shot where is rotating on a platform, but you just see the whole thing rotating. That is a real shot. It's a very cool way of how they did it. It is much more like jank than I expected it to be. It's a dolly with a rod in the middle, and then a string wrapped around it. So when you pull it, it rotates on that center, but it's all about the camera shot and the animation that they did to do it. But the shot's real. And yeah, he showed me some of the stuff from it. Yeah, it's a beautiful machine. It is very expensive to operate.
Yeah.
The machine...
I have mixed feelings on it. I do have mixed feelings.
And Scotty he has a great relationship with them, right? They flew him to China to show how they make it, right? So like, he's got a good relationship with them. He's working with them to try to reduce the overall cost of the inks. And Yuimake understands that's an issue right now. Because with machines like UV printers, for those that don't know about UV printing, or high-end inkjet 3D printing in general, or even cheap inkjet printing, if you don't use it, the nozzles get clogged, right? And on your regular inkjet printer, you just replace the cartridge, and it's like cheap. Even if you buy the legit cartridges, it's like $40-50 a cartridge. No, these are like $500 to $600 plus for a print head. And because the holes are so tiny, even one or two nozzles clogged, and it's ruined, right? So you have to leave machines like this on. It is a pricey machine. But if you have a legitimate business case for it, or you are a turbo hobbyist, right? Don't buy it to use once in a blue moon. You need to use this thing
Yeah.
multiple times a week, or it is going to cost you thousands of dollars in repairs. That's the trouble with a machine like this. It's cool, and like, dude,
See, that's where I have my problem is I don't think it's a game changer because of that. If you're using it enough where it's not having problems, you're probably getting really close to buying an actual industrial grade
no,
UV inkjet.
no.
I've seen some cheap ones for like 50 grand.
This is 3.
Yes, but if you're needing that machine to work 24/7,
That is not. This is a like small business, entry level small business, and kind of medium level small business machine. This is not to be compared with a $50,000 UV printer that is designed for full lights out manufacturing. That is not what this is. Like, I could totally see Construct 3D, makers of the UK's fastest 3D printer and the first Bambu 3D printer, which you can get at construct-3d.com, links in the description. I could see them having an E1 to mark rails, put different color schemes on on the extrusions, be able to take the Bambu side panels, print the logo on it, on something that is not just a decal. It's on it, and you could even have it with the Bambu texture still, because you can texturize
Yep.
the UV. I do believe that this is a game changer for those in the UV printing market. I don't think that it's a game changer for people that don't understand it. And I don't think it's a game changer for those that don't know how to properly utilize it.
I think one of the reasons I don't classify as a game changer is just because I'm lucky. I've been exposed to UV inkjet printing already. Obviously, industrial machines. So I had a lot of work done at Warwick Manufacturing Group. They've got multiple machines. They're really nice. They're like big HP printers. They're big Stratasys machines as well. They've got a couple others. And I've also seen like the Mamakis where they've got some of the most funkiest looking machines going. So I've seen the parts that come off of them and where you can apply it. Obviously, I think it was actually Scotty that printed the back of his MacBook.
Yes, with it was a famous painting.
It's like Starry Night.
I think it was Starry Night. I'm fairly certain it was Starry Night. Yeah,
like it's really cool. However, it's actually surprisingly hard to find legitimate use cases unless that is quite a big part of your business.
well, like the same way that the Xtool F1 brought portable, reliable laser with galvos to the market at a reasonable price, where you could now take this laser to a show and custom engrave stuff. You can now take a Yuimake E1 to a show and custom UV print on stuff for people. Oh, we'll offer you a custom, instead of putting stickers of your cat on your phone, you can give us a photo. We can scan what's here, and then we can print in those areas of your pet right on the back of your phone case. And okay, maybe that's not the best example, but certainly in high wealth areas, they'll pay $100 for that, or $50. I don't even care, right? That's easy money. So I think it is a game changer in accessibility. I am, of course, concerned with a machine like that. It's the first of its kind in an industry. I'm very concerned about long-term support for it. However, at $3,000, it shouldn't take you that long to earn back the value of the machine. So even if there isn't amazing support for it, from a business case, you could have two of them, where one of them is in the box waiting to be used. And so when the first one inevitably runs into an issue, and let's say it needs to get shipped back, well, you just open the second one. And
it is a nice price point, I will admit.
Yeah,
like, taking that £50,000 technology and dropping it to 3 is going to rattle some cages in industry. And we do need more rattled cages. That's how we get better equipment. So I am looking forward to figuring out how they fix the problems with the nozzles getting jammed.
I don't think you
Because
can.
that's the big one.
I don't think there's a way to fix it, to be honest with you. Like, if it
I know there is one method. There is one method that I'm aware of, and I don't think
cleaning.
it's possible. No, it's called pressure popping, where you build the pressure up behind the head,
and
it just
force it out.
Ejects everything out.
You have to be careful with changing the nozzle orifice for that. Like, I did that once, and that's why I have this still hanging around. I did that once. I forced a clog through my nice E3D high flow obsidian, and it's jammed in there. Well, suffice to say, the tip is no longer attached. It is, I think it's like, oh wait, I can, yeah. See, that's what happens. You now have a 2-piece nozzle that shouldn't be a 2-piece nozzle. But I do think it's a really, really cool piece of tech. I am excited to see it. And, realistically, Yuimake is being the Bambu of the UV printer industry.
Yep.
And you know what? I agree with you. We need something like this in that industry, because it should not be only available to those that have 50 grand laying around that can buy one, right? And yeah, it's not as fast, it's not as big, it's not as any of that, but it is ultra portable, it is ultra affordable, it allows access, and there are likely going to be some teething issues, like there were with Bambu, like there have been with the H2D, like there probably will be with the new H2S.
It's a Gen 1 product. Gen 1 products always have issues.
You have teething issues. As long as you're willing to work with that, I think they're going to end up having a pretty nice product.
Yeah. I am very looking forward to seeing how it's adopted. Because that's the one thing that I love, is when I get to see new creators get a tool at a new price point, because now all of a sudden the creators that let's say half our community, like in reality, half our community is not stupidly rich enough to buy a £50,000 UV inkjet printer. So they couldn't do anything with that technology. Now they can.
Yep.
And we're going to see this explosion of creativity and new designs that utilize that process. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. There was like, when the X tool really came out, there was a printing YouTube channel that was doing fiber etching on PETG and PLA prints. I cannot remember for the life of me what their channel name is, but their logo is like this lovely, like stylized triple B, I think. And I've saved it. It's saved in my YouTube somewhere, but they were showing how you can actively laser etch onto printed parts now quite effectively to make cool designs and make actual word etchings and that sort of stuff, where a blue light laser couldn't. I love it. And that is the same thing I'm wanting to see with the UV printer, is people that couldn't do it before can now do it and see what they get up to.
It's all about accessibility. We have to start somewhere, right? And if we don't start somewhere, we're doomed to fail before it gets off the ground. And, a lot of businesses will say it has to be perfect, has to be perfect, has to be perfect. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? And, you can argue with me all day about it, but then if you go look at Apple's first logo, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. It has Isaac Newton in it. Isaac Newton is in Apple's first logo. Hell, go look at what NVIDIA started at as a company. They're the world's most... I
think they're the first $3 trillion company.
4.
They're rich.
I think it's 4.
They're big.
Yeah, they're the largest publicly traded company on the planet.
Yep.
On the planet. And that is a little freaking crazy. I see Vet Hut is in here saying, hello from Scorching Vanimo. I would love to know what scorching is, because I was trying to find the temperature for me in Celsius, but all my computer says is heat advisory. Let me pop it up and see if it gives me something. Nope, it doesn't. All right, let's check my phone. 29 Celsius there. Okay. Yeah,
That's pretty hot.
it's 35 outside. It's 28 inside for me. Yeah, it's 35 outside currently here in Florida at about, according to Google, updated about an hour ago. It is about 75% ambient humidity as well, so it is sticky.
I've got to say, I'm very much enjoying my new aircon
Yeah,
unit.
you have aircon now.
It is temperamental, to say the least.
That's
There
the
is
biggest
something
update
wrong
in the
with
past
the
2 weeks. Jacob's got aircon now.
Yeah, I've got aircon. I'm legitimately like the first British guy to have aircon in his home. I feel so good about it. I cannot live without this anymore. Except it has been a nightmare. Just there's something wrong with the heat pump, and it is just disconnecting from the units. And we've spent days trying to source the issue, to the point where Samsung is now coming out to see what has gone wrong, which is neat. I wish I didn't have to do it,
I'd
because it
be
should have
asking
just been a
about it.
plug and play solution.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, it's lovely. It's 25 degrees now in here, where normally, not sure if anybody knew, it was 32 on average every time we did these streams.
Yeah,
Every time.
yeah.
And we had the ceiling fan on,
Our
so you
computers
had
work a
bad audio.
lot harder than people think for these streams. But you see, the thing with Vanimo is, I'm sure it's still beautiful. I just got back. I got back at about 3 o'clock in the morning from Miami. We went down on Friday to do we left the house 8 a.m., arrived at Fabrico. Huge shout out to the Fabrico team for coming in clutch and helping me out on this project. We had to scan a celebrity for a thing. That is as much as I can tell you. And they were in Pembroke Pines, which is exactly where Fabrico is. We were already planning on filming with Fabrico when we were done scanning this celebrity. But when we found out we needed like a neutral location for everybody to meet, I just messaged Hector. He's like, "Oh, hell yeah, I can do all of this. We'll get a little shop set up for you. It'll be private. No one's gonna bother you. You guys can come in and out as you need. We'll make it nice and cold for it." It was so great. Fabrico made that entire process so much easier. So shout outs to Fabrico for being absolute G's on that and helping out like crazy on that project. We did a little short with them. I gotta put that to the editors. That will be coming out, but they are currently in the process of like reorganizing and rebuilding the shop. So once it's all done, we'll go back down there. 4-hour drive each way. 257 miles, I think is what it was each way. And we will film with them properly. But yeah, it was super cool. I just see Fabrico Joe jumped in here too. How you doing, Joe? But yeah, it that was kind of crazy, that entire thing. But then I did a scan on the way back at just past midnight. That was fun. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, it is nice when a company really just does what Fabrico didn't have to do crap, right? Like, they just had to say, "Yeah, movie guy, come here, make movies, middle fingers on your way out," kind of thing. And they're like, "No, we have the space, come on, come hang out." And Hector wasn't there for a lot of it, but in the filming I did make some Fast and Furious references. Unfortunately, they do not have a staff member that is named Harry, but I did confirm that Hector is running modified Hondas with spoon engines, and you'll just have to wait to see the short to see what we did for that.
Oh,
I wish my Honda had a spoon engine. And if none of that makes sense to you, just go watch the first Fast and Furious movie and just remember that it was filmed and released in 2003. Because the entire premise of the movie is that they're hijacking like big tractor trailer vehicles full of DVD players. So maybe the premise of the movie has not exactly aged all that well, but it's nice. But it's nice.
Oh.
Thor C says, "Hola amigos, hope you are well. Just ate a bag of battery acid candy."
Oh no.
I found somebody else locally who loves it. So I have 2 jars of it. One has to go to Chris Catlett. I now have an owner for the other jar. So I'm very excited. It isn't just going to sit in my house forever and likely melt through the plastic that it's in.
Oh no, I've just had the worst idea I've ever had. We can set streaming goals. So every time a goal is reached, we are forced to have a candy.
We are not going to do that.
Think of the money.
No. No.
I bet there'll be some
No.
sadistic people out there that would love to watch us suffer.
No. They had all the opportunity to watch us suffer when it was for charity. They don't get to watch us suffer unless it's for charity. Damn it. No. You know what the stream goals are? We need 10 super chats and it keeps the streams ad free. Otherwise, I'm gonna start rolling ads because we've got bills to pay. Damn it, and it's a lot. Rob Lutter says Fast 5 is freaking goated. Nah, I don't know. Jordy T says, then let's donate the money to charity. But that's after YouTube takes their cut, right? YouTube's cut is a fair bit on this. $15 for you to eat some now. Absolutely not. Not a chance. Not a chance, Doug. You know what, Doug? I'm going to save some for you. So you can try one when we see you at Smurf. Anyways. Or wait, do you still have some?
Jägermeister flavored ones.
I was going to say.
They're downstairs. That's why I brought it up.
I was going to say.
I actually have some.
Oh, no. Doug has to try some next time he comes up to the shop.
Yeah, I've got the nice little monkey ones, the super evil monkey ones, and Jägermeister flavored ones.
Because what makes something that tastes like battery acid worse? Battery acid with extra licorice extract. Bearded Bucket with the 5 members. Fabrico Joe got one. Dougal. No, I'm not gonna get that one. Jarn Ove? Sure. Got one. Steve P got one, and William R got one. And Thomas with the €2 says, roll the ads. I got premium. But all right, back on the Bambu here. I would hope that this is an X1 carbon replacement. I think she's getting a little tired, man.
Okay, as much as I admit she needs a refresh, the size is nice. She's a small machine.
Tell me though, why you would buy an X1 carbon when you can get a Centauri carbon with whatever the hell Elegoo wants to use as an AMS soon TM, right? And let's call it 500 total. Let's call their AMS 2/3 of the cost of the machine. The machine is $300. Let's call the AMS 200 that they're going to come out with. $500 for a Centauri carbon with an AMS. Why would you buy a Bambu X1 carbon? Why would you do it?
I'm thinking. It's hard. Why do I really want to get up an Aurora Tech video right now to see the benchy comparisons between a carbon and a...
This asshole.
Because that's the...
What YouTube channel are you on? If you're shilling for a YouTube channel, it's the one you're currently on.
But no, they do a really good breakdown of the prints with a zoom camera. So you can actually see the quality. That is the only thing that I would buy an X1C over a Centauri is the surface quality reasonably better for the price? And I don't think it is.
No, because you hit a law of diminishing returns with filament 3D printers. Literally, the dimensional accuracy of your filament will start to become a problem at a certain point. And that's an issue as far as I'm concerned.
It is.
Um,
It
also,
actually is.
Jimmy with the Sec 100 saying salty candy ad free woo. Yeah, Jimmy is a bit of a masochist. That Swedish Candy, which literally translates to Swedish F words, literally it's exact, like I can pull up the translation on my phone if people don't believe me. That is because of Jimmy. Jimmy brought those down 4 hours. Jimmy, it was funny because when we were in Miami, I went to go see my grandmother. Her birthday is on Thursday, this coming Thursday. I have no idea how old she is. I asked, and she told me that was not appropriate. So even though she's definitely in her late 90s, the sass and the Latin spite is still existing. But I was telling her about our trip to Sweden, to Bond Tech and all of that. And, you know, we were sharing stories of hanging out with Jimmy and what that was like. It was really cool. It was a fun one. Then that reminds me I need to release our 360 talk with Jimmy. I didn't do that yet. I haven't done it yet.
That's such a good talk.
Look, man, the last almost week has been running non-stop. Like 20 plus hours a day between a client with emergency projects and then trying to figure out getting the scan done for the celebrity and trying to figure out when we could do it. That was this last week. This last week is just, if it's not obvious, I am exhausted right now. Yeah, but you know, it is, I think it's time. I think it's time for the X1. And because, like, literally, you look at the price points, you're like, well, there really isn't a lot of reason to choose an X1 Carbon over a Centauri Carbon unless you really do like the Bambu ecosystem. And there are many reasons to like the Bambu ecosystem.
Yeah, but then arguably you just go like P1S.
Yes. I will continue to argue that the screen alone, without the LiDAR and all that, the screen alone is worth the price increase, in my opinion. It's like,
it
is.
How often do you use the screen?
All the time.
I rarely use them. I do everything through the slicer.
I don't. My printers aren't networked. They're fully air gapped. I don't play with that crap.
Yeah, have it on an air gap internal network. It's fine.
Nah.
And still get the slicer to connect.
Nope. Can't now. Can't if you update your machines.
That is true. If you update your machine, you're screwed.
Yep, can't do that anymore. You know, so if you like the Bambu ecosystem, great. That is honestly, that's the biggest reason to choose any company over another, is you like their ecosystem the best. Right?
I will say that is probably the biggest benefit of Bambu Lab, is the consistency of their manufacturing is noticeably better than other companies. And that's just because they're bigger. Yep. That's all it is.
Well, and because they've become so popular as a company, there's so much available out there for third party. And even further, there's so much out there available for like first party accessories through different areas. Like, I was in Miami, so of course I went to Micro Center. Like, I'm not a crazy person. And I'm looking at like the wall of accessories. I'm like, ooh, I think I need a new first stage feeder. They didn't have one. They had them for the AMS Lite. They didn't have them for the AMS, for the regular AMS. But someone came up to me, he's like, oh, is there anything that we can help you out with? I'm like, I really wanted to do the Rod Swanson. I know more than you. But I didn't.
Oh.
Because I'm a nice person and I don't do those things.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but if the H2S brings in all the features of the H2D without the dual nozzles, apparently it's going to give you the drag knife. It might give you the laser. Again,
I'm not interested in either of them. I'm a printer person, not a cut person. I have a CNC for that if I wanted that.
I can see total reason for the drag knife. Once Prusa releases a drag knife tool head for the XL, I'll get one. There are many times where I just need a quick little decal for something, or maybe I want to make, like a QR code to put on somewhere to prove to people how easy man-in-the-middle attacks on QR codes are. I don't own a vinyl cutter, and I'm well aware that, like, a cheap Vevor vinyl cutter is, like, $150. But I don't need another hobby. Just give me a drag knife that I'll put on once in a blue moon, and then I'll take it off, and I'll probably never use it again.
And here you're
I'm
missing the opportunity to shill for index, to have an index drag knife.
Well, it is possible, but, like, why? My guess is that...
But that's the same thing as a normal tool change.
Yeah,
why have
totally
a drag knife
fair.
on any? That's literally the point.
Like,
it's a faff.
You're missing
Honestly,
out.
just buy the bloody 150 quid Chinese drag knife dedicated machine and get on with your life.
Well, wait a minute. Index, the entire name of Index, as soon as you put a drag knife on it, doesn't matter anymore.
And as soon as you put a drag knife on a 3D printer, it's no longer a 3D printer.
Shut up.
I'm just saying, as much as I love multi-purpose use machines, it's hard to argue when I can buy a dirt cheap dedicated machine, and if I even look at it wrong and it catches fire, I put it in the bin and I can get another. Do you know how cheap drag knives are, just in general, for CNC machines?
Do you know how cheap just vinyl cutters in general are? They're like $100 to $200. So the thing... See, if I buy a dedicated machine, I'm inclined to use it for it being a dedicated machine. If I buy an accessory that adds on to one of my current machines, even if it's not as good as the dedicated machine, I don't have to use it very often. The same way that I was going to pull it out, but the drawer's currently blocked. I have a Morstruder for my Taz 6. It's got a 2mm nozzle, I think, or a 1.8mm nozzle. It's a thick boy, and it's designed to run those kinds of speeds. This was before high flow nozzles were a thing.
Debatable.
Whatever.
I still don't think they could keep up with the speeds they were saying.
Yeah, it only printed at like 30 or 40 millimeters a second, but I have no idea what the flow rate is.
Yeah, but that's really high.
Yeah, when you're doing 1mm layers.
1 mil layer is like 60 cubic millimeters per second.
It's a lot.
You are softening the inside and giving a question of moltenness, and only the outer bit is wet.
But how often did I use the Morstruder?
0?
Not often.
1?
Not
2.
often. If I had like random colors that we hated and I just wanted to make something to put on display, I'd use the Morstruder.
You know what's better than a Morstruder?
Like, I can look up and see the box for it on my shelf.
No. Do you know what's better than a Morstruder? A bloody CHT nozzle.
Oh, okay. Well,
because you can get them with fat exiting holes.
CHTs didn't exist back then, okay? All right, back in my day, we didn't have no fancy CHT
The Morstruder only works because the bloody Tazbots still use the Weemill filament.
You know what? Shut up. Okay?
Which means you have to punish yourself by buying 3mm filament.
See, if I do an index, I'm likely going to have one part of the index that uses 3mm if they can offer it. Because I've got like 40 plus kilos of 3mm sitting around. Like, literally, if there is somebody in the Tampa Bay area that wants a bunch of 285 or 3mm filament, come and get it. Just text the shop number. It goes to my cell phone. Like, text me, and I will happily tell you where to come and get it. I want the space back. Come and take it.
The moment you said index 3mm filament, I can already feel all the people at Bontech going, ooh.
You can just feel Olaf giving me the side eye from across the pond.
Yeah. Worst bit is, I don't even think it'll be that difficult because the gears open and close.
Yeah, no,
they just don't close them as much.
It's Slavko, Nerman, Andres, Olaf. They're all giving me the
They're
side
giving
eye
them
right
that
now.
dirty side
Yeah,
eye.
they're like,
going,
you bastard.
"Ugh."
But, you know, the value the H2S would bring, it's bigger. So now you'd have to decide, do you want a Centauri Carbon at a 256 cube at $500? Or, and let's say the H2S is a real thing and it's the same size. Okay? You know, let's just go with that.
Okay.
H2S is the same price as an X1 Carbon. Do you want to pay 2.5 times more and get one that's 320?
Yes.
There are people that might say yes to that. Even better, if the H2S uses A-series nozzles, A-series accessories. Yes. So if you're invested with like an A1 or an A1 Mini, you're able to take those A1 accessories that you've already invested in and utilize them on this machine. There is so much value to that. Further backed by the fact that love Elegoo or hate them, Elegoo has a tendency to just release a new product. Now, they're not doing that with the Centauri Carbon. It took them a long time to get the boards as cheap as they are, get the printers as cheap as they are, and they're likely going to stick around for a while. But will we see long-term support? Don't know.
No idea. That's the big question in my eyes, is even if the machine is cheap, if there's no way to maintain it, then is it actually worth buying? Especially as, did you know there's now a lifetime for the belts on the X1 series? Somebody's figured out the lifetime of them.
How?
They've just used like 6 machines and noticed all 6 died within a certain period of time for their belts. It looks like it's 340 days of continuous printing 24/7. So I think that's like 2,000 hours, 3,000 hours.
I have more than that on my X1 Carbon.
Yeah, so there's a big asterisk for the data set.
Well, it's all going to come down to maintenance. It's all going to come down to maintenance.
Is these machines aren't designed for you to replace the belts.
No, the Centauri Carbon is not designed to be user serviceable. There's no Bambu that's user serviceable, right? And now I'm going to do the math because I don't think you're right.
And the reason I say that is I would rather buy a cheaper machine if they're not designed to be repaired.
Jacob, that's 8,160 hours. You're
well,
not even
I am massively
close.
off.
Like, you're not even remotely close. Come on. Yeah. 8,000 hours. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. But even as a hobbyist, 8,000 hours of printing, that's a lot of damn printing. That's a lot of damn printing.
If you've not earned your money back in 8,000 hours, I've actually got other questions to start asking you at that point.
Yeah, honestly, if you haven't earned back your money in 8,000 hours of printing, come on the show and talk to us, because we've got a lot of questions. You're probably not going to like them. But, you know, the issue with the Centauri is that, and DevMiner and Diomedes are saying it, they use a completely new nozzle standard, because of course they do. There's no availability of spare nozzles. Like, literally, people are telling me, before you buy Centauri Carbons, order accessories now, and maybe you decide to buy the Centauri Carbon in 2 months. Get the accessories now, because they take months to ship.
That is not a good look.
No, it's not. And certainly Diamondback will probably have something. Micro Swiss will probably have something. E3D might have something. Companies are, and
Luke Slab, Pika, Centauri Carbon.
I hope anyone was able to hear that, because it did not come through Zoom at all. It just
I can see
deleted your voice.
They could hear it.
All I heard was like,
German Autobot noises. It was me telling Luke that after the +4, that we get Pika hot ends for the Centauri Carbon. Literally, that's why I haven't bought Centauri Carbons yet. I have not bought Centauri Carbons because I don't have an available accessory system from Luke's lab for the Pika. Did you just turned your AC down, didn't you?
No, it broke again.
Oh. R.I.P.
I'm so annoyed. It's so cool, and I'm like, it doesn't work. Though, look how cool this remote is. It's got a solar panel on the back. Because we're in Europe, USB-C charging, of course. And then it's got a bloody I think that's an OLED screen, just a monocolor OLED screen. It's just it's such a nice remote.
Should we just have like a whole segment where we just talk about design porn? Because I feel like at this point
I'd love that. I'd love that. One of my guilty pleasures is legitimately looking at architecture papers.
Because is that what they call it now? Architecture papers? Yeah, because everyone looks at Playboys for the articles, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes. It's all about knowing where the camera has to be, obviously. Oh, but like seriously though, I love reading design documentation because you get a lot of interesting decisions that you wouldn't normally pick up on unless you are in that industry. Like, for example, the fact that the solar panel is on the back is a very interesting choice because normally you'd put this in the wall facing forwards. However, the clamp it goes in has a really small sliver at the back just for the solar panel. So it can always charge when it's on a wall. I love it. And then you've got like obviously the lovely hard round edges where they've softened it, but it's also sharp.
So they're hard, round, and soft. You sure you're okay right now?
Design, it gets me going.
Yeah. So I really do think that if they release it right around the X1 Carbon price, realistically, the same price would be ideal to me.
I don't think they'll do the same price. They'll probably just be like a very marginal price higher. Like maybe just 50 quid higher or 100 quid higher. Because then you've got a price ladder. You can have the machine that you don't want, that's old, and 50 quid more, you get the brand new machine. You're going to buy the brand new machine.
Stop producing it. It's 3 years old. As far as Bambu goes, 3 years might as well be 3 centuries, right? They've changed so much. So I am expecting Bambu in the next 1.5 to 2 years max to have fully replaced the X and P series machines with H or X2 Pro, whatever. They're replacing their hot end standard with the A series hot end standard. While they might have different connectors like they do for the P versus X series, for them to maintain a consistent hot end design, heaters and things like that is much more valuable to them as a company because it's less SKUs they have to keep in stock. Right? And yeah, as Diomeda says, let's remember that May 2025 was the original end of life for the X1 Carbon. Before the community got proper pissed off at it, many people said that's not legal. And yeah.
But it is time for it to die. It's been a while. The amount of learning Bambu Lab have probably done behind the scenes in itself justifies a new variant of even that machine.
Learning or data collection? What? Who said that?
Probably both.
And there is something to be said about collecting data for learning purposes, but don't encrypt it, because as soon as you encrypt something, I'm going to find out what's in it, and I'm going to be generally upset about what I find. Just saying. I think it's time for the X1 Carbon to be put to bed, honestly. you know, I really, really prefer them to see a more unified front of machines that all look the same, that are all roughly the same size. You know, if there is a H2S minus instead of an H2S plus, right, where it's a fully stripped down, so a P1P or H2P, if you will, right? I'd love to see that too. Right? Where if people don't need the enclosure, don't give them the damn enclosure. Let them pay less money.
Yeah, like
It's
the
less
250
work.
cubed volume print space is saturated. There is no need to compete in there anymore.
But there's some value to that saturation, right? Like that 250 cube means all the Ember prototypes beds that I have for my X1 carbon that also fit on my Prussias will also fit on Centauri carbons. But as
But
soon
you're thinking from a user's point of view, not a factory point of view,
yeah,
because they
that's
want to
fair.
earn money. And if they want to earn money, they need to make something unique. People don't buy the same flavor ice cream from 4 different brands. They always buy either the shop own brand, which they know is the same as the expensive brand, or the expensive brand. They don't buy the middle ones. And we're kind of in that situation now with the 250 cubed market, where you either get Bambu Lab because they're the creators of that market, or you kind of get the cheapest, best quality machine you can, which is the own brand version. So if Bambu were to come out with a new machine, they probably wouldn't do it in that 250 cubed because
No.
it's so saturated. It's
Yeah.
so
It's
saturated.
it's becoming the de facto standard, so if you want to be better, you have to be bigger.
Yep.
Someone who was it? Bill A said, "What about the Snapmaker U1?" We totally forgot
I
that for this episode.
completely forgot that existed. I've seen one advert on Facebook. I'm very interested in it.
You know what? Let's dedicate next week to that.
Yeah.
Let's just
'Cause
dedicate
I want to
next
see
week.
what the community ruminates on it, and also I want to see more things come out on it
Well,
first.
and I would love to compare it to my Prusa XL.
Yeah.
I don't like. I am aware that content creators already have shipping notifications from Snapmaker. We have not heard back from them.
Hmm.
Well, I did yell at them years ago.
Oh, wow.
Because, dude, they made you sign away your data and your print rights to use the A350. Like, to
Ooh,
turn the machine
that's not a good
on
look.
and be able to print anything with it, you had to accept their unconditional license, their ownership rights, all this ridiculousness. We ended up getting a decent conversation with them, and they changed their end user license agreement because of the issues that we brought to light, which I was happy about, but I was fairly certain I got blacklisted over it, and turns out we probably did.
Comes
That's
with the
okay.
territory.
It comes with the territory. So if you don't see us talking about the U1 outside of the podcast, that's why. I don't want a Snapmaker tool changer for my business without lots and lots and lots of time under it to see how it performs. So unless Snapmaker sends us one, I'm probably looking at a minimum 6-month lead before I even remotely begin to look at it for money. Right? Like if I want to spend my personal money on it. And to be clear, if I spend my personal money on it, you're probably not getting a video. Because videos are getting more and more expensive for us to produce. And it's getting to the point where if I have to, you figure this machine's probably going to cost $1,000+. Unless it really brings something to the table that the Prusa XL doesn't already do for me, there's not really a point in us getting it. So,
Pretty much.
I think the price point will be a lot lower than the Prusa XL. It wouldn't surprise me. However, I already own a Prusa XL5 tool changer. I was a day one pre-order for that machine. Prusa did not send us that machine, unfortunately. Would have loved to not have that bill. I'm sure I could ask for one, but I already have one. And I love it. Yes, it has its flaws. It has its quirks. It has its whatever. But overall, solid machine. Solid machine. And paid for itself within a week of ownership. So I can officially say that the Cheaty +4s that I've been running pay for themselves in 2 prints.
Hey, that's quite nice.
2 prints.
That is quite nice.
Pay for themselves. That's kind of awesome. But yeah, John Stern says, is there anywhere the grant is not blacklisted? Companies that often care a lot more about user feedback and are willing to hear criticisms and are willing to work with both companies and users to produce a better product, I'm not blacklisted from them. I am blacklisted from companies that only want positive reviews, that, you know, do not want people that are going to not sugarcoat things, right? If they want someone who's going to be very professional and sugarcoat everything and try to give it to you soft, yeah, I'm blacklisted from working with them.
Good feedback is generally
we don't
not
give it to them
sugarcoated.
soft around here. We give it to them rock hard.
You've been looking at my design manuals again. Doug's asking, has Construct 3D blacklisted Glance? Yeah, we kicked him out of the factory.
Yeah, did you not see the video? They kicked me out of the factory. So I never asked you this, so I'm just going to ask it to you on air. Should we do the door slam bit when you're not there? Or is this a Jacob only bit?
I think this...
The entire team, we were like 50-50 on this. I'm like, the bit is existing regardless of Jacob. It's just, we've done it. The last 2 like factory tours we did were when Jacob was there. So we thought it would be funny to continue the bit.
I think it would be funny because there is an aspect of just me being there as a different company, always showing up at somebody else's company to close the door in your face.
I say, so at Fabrico, we had like 36 hours to plan all this. So like, we just brought all of our camera gear and we're like, if we film something, we film something. If we don't, we'll do it another time. And so I'm like, Amber should be the one that slams the door in my face, right? We can put a camera on a tripod. You know, Amber should be the one that slams the door in my face. And the team's like, well, no. I'm like, well, what if we used Amber and then we had a picture of Jacob that was poorly tracked on Amber's face? Like so Amber's face was replaced with a poorly tracked, you know, GIF of Jacob doing something. Like, what if we did that? And we ended up not doing the bit because I instead made a Fast and Furious bit, which is way more funny for me anyways. But yeah, I'm so torn on this because part of me says the bit exists without Jacob, but then it's like, well, no, Jacob's always done the bit. So maybe it doesn't.
Yeah. Like, I think it comes down to, like, imagine we went to Prusa.
Yeah.
And I show up at Prusa. That's funny. It's like, why the hell is Jacob?
Why is Jacob there?
Of Construct 3D opening the door at Prusa. That, I think, is where the funny is.
It'd be much funnier, yeah, especially if you were in like a Prusa shirt for that. See, the mistake that we made for the Bondtech video is you were wearing one of the cat shirts. If we put you in a Bondtech shirt, I think that bit would have been so much funnier because you would have looked like an official representative of Bondtech for like half a second until people realized it was you.
It was me.
Yeah. So I think
that has to be the joke. The joke is that Jacob is infiltrating every company.
All right, then it is a Jacob only bit. So there's your answer. I also have Sloth Lord Luke says he's got some Prusa shirts if you need to borrow one. I have a gold Prusa shirt. It's it's staff only. Like you cannot buy them. They're staff only.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I need to get one of them when I open the door to you.
There was a stack of them, and I asked Monica if I could have one. She's like, hey, "What size are you?" Great.
There you go.
I've never worn it. I've never worn it. One, like, it's incredibly disrespectful to do that, especially if we go to shows. Like, you don't wear that unless you're, like, you know, officially with the company. But two, you know, but yeah, I could bring that for you next time we're in Prague. That'd be
That would be
Super
quite funny.
Yeah.
Even funnier because it'll be in your size. So it's just this big baggy shirt on me.
Bastard.
Oh.
I'm not that fat. All right, I'm much bigger than you.
No, it's just I am a twig.
How heavy are you
that.
again?
I've just hit 75 kilos.
Okay, so I'm not double your weight. I lost weight. I went to the doctor to get a physical.
I think that might be the lack of sleeping you've been doing in the last 2 weeks.
It's funny because one of those days I had a site tour for a company, and they were right across the street from my doctor. I'm like, all right, whatever. We'll just go ahead and get the physical while we're here. You know, whatever. In for a penny, in for a pound kind of thing. Dreams. Doug says you're not a twig, you're a twiglet.
Ooh. I will buy you more twiglets. I hope you know that.
I don't want them.
Too bad. Because they're a gift, you'll be socially obligated to at least have one.
I'll pass them out to the birds, and all of a sudden you'll see an entire population of birds die.
I see no complaints.
I like the birds. The government security drones are nice. They're friendly. Especially the big sandhill cranes out here. Tarzman tells me to do this to you. I'm not exactly certain why. Twiglets are terrible.
But I also have an update for you.
Oh no.
So, do you know the long-standing saga of my my terrible multi-splitter? So I've replaced it. This 65-pound piece of crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's not this. It's not this.
What is it?
I've just lost 3 monitors. So it's not that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
I can see it flashing in the background.
Something. It's something else.
Oh, no.
Though I have now realized there is a pattern appearing. I have OBS open. It's been stable all week. I've never had OBS open. The moment I open OBS, and yes, I have 3 instances of OBS open, but it's gotta be something with encoding. Gotta be.
Could be. Tech Jeeper said you just walked in and got a physical in the US. Sorry to tell you, but I think you just had a random homeless guy have you turn your head and cough. Yeah, so my primary care doctor books out like 4 months. I need to find a new primary care. Even they're like, you should probably find a new primary care. They're also like 45 minutes away. But the APRN, the Advanced Registered Nurse Practitioner, which I like the APRNs better than doctors. They know more. Shh.
That's not a secret. Nurses do know more than doctors. They actually do the stuff.
Well, either way,
That's
was great.
Who would you rather get bloods taken from, a nurse or a doctor?
Well, they did want me to do labs. I was not fasting at the time, and I suck with needles, so no.
Well, that's how needles work. They suck.
Ugh.
I gave
that
myself
reference.
Physical pain from that.
I hate that. Speaking of things that everybody hates, I guess let's hit that billing department and thank our sponsors for the stream. We have Construct 3D. I'm going to give myself... no, Jacob's going to give me a sponsor segment in this stream.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to correct him every time he does something wrong. Printed Solid, as well as you, the folks at home. A huge thank you to Construct 3D for sponsoring this podcast. Jacob's currently going to my company website so he can find everything.
No, I'm not. I can't. I've lost my monitors. I only have this one.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You now only have... You lost 3 of your 6 monitors.
I've lost 3 of my 6.
Yeah, you're fine. You still have 3. Huge thank you to
I'm
Construct.
using 2 of them as key lights. I can't lose my key lights.
Yes, you can. Huge thank you to Construct 3D for sponsoring this show. If you do want to get the UK's fastest 3D printer, the first Bambu 3D printer, you could do so by hitting up construct-3d.com or clicking the links down in that description below. They are a business class machine for a business class environment designed for lights out manufacturing to make your business more efficient all the time. You can check out our tour of them as well. I don't have it handy because that would be smart. But that's fine. I'm sure you know where to find it. Huge thank you to 3D Musketeers.
There you go. I was going to do it. I was thinking you were going to do
Yeah, go ahead, do it. Go ahead, do it.
But yes, huge thank you to 3D Musketeers. If you are looking for a print bureau, a print service, or just feedback on anything that you need 3D printing related, Grant and the entire community over there have the best knowledge that I have ever experienced when it comes to 3D printing problems. I actively use Grant quite a lot. Nice. Whenever I have a problem, and his knowledge far surpasses mine in most of these areas. So if you want something made, you have a part that you want to see like produced, if you need scanning services or anything along those lines, 3D Musketeers is the place to go.
Let's say, for instance, maybe you're a vet's office and something went wrong and you now need to get a paw print remade. And you call 3D Musketeers when we are down in Miami. And you happen to be in Venice, Florida, which is on the way back. And when we look at the timing, we would be at Venice at midnight. We'll still meet with you and do the scan. And we'll do it with an Artex spider and capture in detail that is just ridiculously insane. Okay? So, you know... shout out to, I'm not going to mention people's names. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Their boss was well aware that they were meeting me this late at night, but shout out to them for making that happen. And like, just to give you guys an idea, like,
the entire 3D Musketeers team just goes above and beyond every single time.
The detail on that's insane. Yeah, the detail's insane on that. Yeah. Technically, it's not even a great scan for the spider. It's max error of 0.4 millimeters, but I'm gonna tune it down to like 0.1 worth of tolerance because the spider's good down to 50 microns. But this was at a random gas station at exit 193 on I-75 in Florida at 12:15 in the morning. And I'm so glad that I had all the gear with me because I was able to use my rolling cart that folds up to fit in my 2-door Honda, my EcoFlow River 2 Pro, my HP Omen laptop, and the Artex Spider that we have, and was able to scan completely without any external power sources, fully portable, and worked with the client to get all that done. It was pretty awesome. It was very tired, but it was super cool. And that's still about an hour and a half from my house. And, there are certain times in a business where you can choose to make money off a job. I refused payment for that job. I didn't want money. I have no desire for money for that job. I will charge their end customer for the 3D printing, but because they want more than one copy, I will not charge for the scan. Because it was an honest mistake that was a miscommunication that ended up being a really bad situation for the business and the individual who was kind of ultimately responsible. There are times in my life where we will make money doing other things. This was not that time. Not at 12:15. I could have easily charged them $500 and they probably would have had to do it. But we didn't, and they didn't. Our goal is to make sure that we help people get what they need. That matters a lot more. So, yeah, that was my weird scanning. That's the latest I've ever done a 3D scan. 12:15 in the morning. So, yeah. Tech Jeepers, I'm afraid to ask about said animal that belongs to that paw print. 10-year-old black lab. So. The customer wanted 2 paw prints. The individual put 2 paw prints in one piece of foam. The person wanted 2 separate paw prints. You can't fix that. You can't fix that. Tarzman says technically the earliest. It was both the earliest and the latest because I showed up at 11:56 p.m., finished right before 1 o'clock in the morning. But
that was a 24-hour print job then. That's a whole day.
We had the entire scan done in less than a half hour. So scan, processing, everything done in less than a half hour. It was super cool. Anyways, huge thank you to Printed Solid for sponsoring this episode as well. If you do want to get some of America's best filament Jesse, you can do so by clicking the link in that pinned comment, assuming you're watching live. If you're not watching live, you should be watching live, noon, pretty much every Sunday, whenever you see it scheduled on the channel. We're trying to be more consistent about it. So a huge thank you to Printed Solid for sponsoring the filament giveaways that we do here on the channel. You guys are super awesome. We've done multiple tours of their facility, and we will be doing a big new one of their brand new facility as well, which is such a big company. It's so much more now. And then thanks to you all for liking, subscribing, even though there's 44 likes and 167 people watching.
Oh, bump them up.
Yeah,
Bump that up.
pump those numbers up. Love if you could donate a couple of bucks here and there to help keep the channel ad-free for these streams, other than the once or twice that we stop to do an ad read. And here's the cool thing. When we edit down the podcast, this entire segment gets cut out. Yeah, so if you want a more edited down thing, stay tuned. That's coming soon. We have
looking really promising.
We have a couple of more interviews to finish. But we are building a multi-person team right now for this. So very, very excited to see what the future of this will look like. We hope you all are as well. We are looking for more sponsors. So if you have any companies, or maybe your company wants to sponsor the show, please let us know. You can reach out to us, YouTube at 3dmusketeers.com. And yeah, merch available in the description down below. There are some new shirts, including the I'm on the Spectrum and I'm dropping packets shirt, which is a fan favorite recently. It's a hilarious shirt. I love everything about it. But yeah, that's really all we got. So let's dig into. I think we talked enough about Bambu.
I actually kind of wanted to bring it on because you started touching one last little bit of Bambu.
What?
How to do anything local, you have to basically air gap it and not update the firmware.
Mm-hmm.
They've kind of changed their mindset a little bit on it with their new announced print farm software, where there's been a lot of terminology thrown around about local only processing.
See, I was going to go into the notes for Galactic Armory and go back to Bambu toward the after Galactic Armory. Move away from Bambu for a little bit. Let us go into something else.
I'm happy to move away from Bambu. They stole my SEO. Screw them. Definitely not salty.
Look, we spent almost an hour, and let's call it a solid hour, because there's at least 20 minutes of BSing in there, talking about the H2S and whatever that could be. So I say we move into Galactic Armory. We can touch on my mini factory as well. But yeah, let's leave the farm software kind of toward the end of the show. So do you know what's going on with Galactic Armor? Oh, I guess you do, because
I know a little bit of it. So one of the main things is I also pay for Galactic Armory. Mm-hmm. I like the models they make. We show off some of them on our stand because they're that nice. One of the things that is going on, for anyone who isn't aware, they got a cease and desist by good old James Gorkshock themselves.
You can say Games Workshop, it's fine. There's nothing against it. But
it's good old James at James Workshop.
Okay,
the guy at the top. But no, Games Workshop has sent a cease and desist to Galactic Armory, and it just so happened one day later they announced that they've got a new full-scale helmet. I think it's a Mark 10 Primaris helmet that they are selling, and they got cease and desist.
This makes so much more sense to me. So like when we filmed, and I missed Christopher Elliott with the $5 to help pay the bills. Thank you, sir. Totally missed that. My bad. Initially I just thought it's like, okay, GW's starting to crack down. It is what it is. I did not
starting. GW have been cracking down for years.
No, Galactic Armory's been around long enough that they would have gone after Galactic Armory years ago. They've been around.
How familiar are you with Games Workshop's antics of screwing over the community?
Pretty familiar. They're well known for it.
Like there's been so many big projects
but they never went after
GW don't like.
The cosplayers, for the most part, were somewhat shielded. People selling
Yeah.
miniatures get knocked out all the time because that is a direct market. GW, even though they could, it looks like they did the, hey, we're not in this market. Whatever, fam. You know, you do you. I didn't realize they were moving into the market too.
I don't think they are. So
You said the article of them making a full-size Space Marine wearable helmet or wearable Space Marine helmet.
They are
big deal
making something in the market. I don't think they're moving into it. They've kind of like released this collector's style helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I hate to say it to the designers at Games Workshop, it doesn't look that good.
No, you know, honestly,
it's just slightly off in every way, and it's too clean. It's not even the most popular helmet. And then they're just like, yes, we've designed this helmet. It's bloody $170, which is actually kind of well priced for Games Workshop because they are known for selling plastic crack, and there's a lot of plastic in that.
That's fair for Games Workshop. That's cheap even. That's cheap even.
But at that point, it's like, it's just a helmet. It's not a greatly designed helmet. It doesn't actually look that high quality in terms of the plastics used. And they sent the cease and desist. It's not the first time, however, that Games Workshop have very aggressively like protected their IP. They've done it on video games quite a lot.
As they should.
Quite a lot.
To be fair.
Well, they also did it with fan mods. There was a lot of times they would send like a cease and desist to a mod maker for a game that is already licensed to go, you're infringing on a thing. And obviously, the mod makers ignore it. Because what are they going to do? They're going to shut it down? No, it's a mod. They can't do anything about it. But they've also done it in kind of more obvious ways. So, have you seen Astartes on YouTube?
No. I am not involved in the 40K community whatsoever. I am fundamentally afraid of getting bitten by the 40K bug. Because I have a bunch of resin printers that we don't use a lot, and I have 2 Jupiters.
Oh, you could get bitten so hard.
And that's exactly why I don't touch it. Not with a 10-foot pole. My local Games Workshop knows who I am. They don't like it when I'm in there. So I don't ever go. I have, on more than one occasion, offered to come in and do 3D printing classes with them, but they do not support the 3D printing community. So, yeah.
And it is a shame. But one of the things they did, so for reference of what Astartes is, there's a fan-made short film. It was 5 episodes. Each episode was a bit longer in length. It started with a 1-minute episode. Then it was like a 3-minute episode. Then it was a 6-minute episode. And it was telling a fictional story in the setting. But it was brilliant. It was an absolute work of cinema. And one of the reasons it was a work of cinema that blew everyone away was Games Workshop has a bad habit of making crap media for their amazing scenery that they've got for everything. Like, they did a official film, which was the Space Marine film. It was so bad, it was funny. They've tried other spin-offs. None of them were good. And then this one CG artist made this short film over, I think it was like 2 or 3 years.
They get slapped with the C&D?
Almost instantly.
Yeah.
And it was an absolute travesty because every React channel that has ever done anything, even not related to Warhammer, did a React on this fan-made film. Even Corridor Crew had it on their show.
I know who Corridor Crew is. Yeah,
Corridor Crew didn't just
legit.
do one. I think they've done it like 4 times now.
I'm sorry. Corridor Crew is legitness.
But that's how big it was. It blew them away with how technically proficient this film was. And it's made by one guy.
That's probably the biggest compliment you can get in CGI is if Corridor Crew says, yeah, we were blown away by the work that you did. That to me, that is enough of social validation and proof that I would need to retire happily.
Yep. I will send you these videos after because it's a very short amount of content.
Yeah, put them
It's
into
only like 20
the Making Awesome podcast channel
Yep.
and the Discord server, which you can get at the $10 tier and higher.
It's only 20 minutes, I think, for all 5 combined. And it's just it's amazing. It's worth the watch. Even if you don't know anything about Warhammer, it's a very nice drop in the bucket of the cool stuff. And if you know about Warhammer, you start seeing they've got this, and they've got this, and they've put it. It's just filled with funny lore moments that you don't need to be aware of to enjoy it.
So like initially
It got taken down almost instantly.
Initially, for this C&D though, with Galactic Armory, I didn't understand it. Like, okay, I understand it from a legal perspective. They're legally able to and should be protecting their intellectual property. What Galactic Armory was doing is IP theft. From my non-legal perspective, it is IP theft. And interestingly, did you see the comments on Print Fix Friday?
No,
You might not have. A lot of them are not in support of Galactic Armory.
I have seen that sentiment on the Reddit.
Because
That is the one thing I've noticed.
Ultimately, they're not in the right here. Galactic Armory is not in the right. Regardless of how good of a product they produced, they did not have the intellectual property to do so. Now, in my opinion, the right way to handle this would be for Games Workshop to say, these guys have already done all the damn work. Why don't we just partner with them, right? We have them remove their printable models, and then we license those models, and we produce them commercially.
Oh, no, they'll never do that because it means they have to validate 3D printing as a legitimate way to manufacture something.
No. They can manufacture it via injection molding or rotocasting or however they're making the ones they're currently making. You can still have something that's designed for 3D printing and still have it be made in a different way.
That is true.
To me, like the right solution when it comes to intellectual property battles, right, is that instead of outright suing them or C&Ding them, and maybe they did, I don't know. You know, obviously we have a very one-sided story right now. It would behoove
even
them.
with it being one-sided, Games Workshop is still in the right. They are, as much as people like to say, and it's why I brought up Astartes and everything, Games Workshop have, in the past, shot themselves in the foot with a 50 cal rifle because they can.
Yes.
And the worst bit is, at the end of the day, they are right. They can defend their stuff.
And that's why
They've done it before, and it works for them. Because even though they have this amazing fan film that has drove more people into the hobby than they could possibly ever imagine, same with Galactic Armory, is driving people in the hobby already to keep being engaged in the hobby.
Yep.
Games Workshop doesn't really care because it's only a small subset.
But
they are so huge, they don't need to care. They don't need to be the bad guy. They already are, kind of vibe.
They're the bad guy. They're the kingpin of the network, and they're letting the people below them take the flak, right?
Yeah.
You know, they've let Galactic Armory do their thing, likely knowing exactly who it was, exactly, you know, they've known about this for years. But now, because they have a competing product, it makes sense for them to C&D slap this because now they're competing in the same market. When they're not competing in the same market, there's no financial loss to them by allowing the community stuff to exist. It does not cost them money. But when now the community has a competing product, that costs them money. Right? So that's why they'll go after the little people that are making Space Marine figures on printables and My Mini Factory and whatever. But they haven't gone after the big cosplay stuff because they weren't in that market. Yes, people don't like them, but I think they were quite strategic in the way that they kind of built that hate. They did it in a way that made sense. In my opinion.
I think you're giving them a bit too much credit. I don't think they're strategic. I they've kind of shown in the past they will do something because they can instead of what is the best outcome for the people.
Okay, that's fair, right? The best outcome for the people would have been to work with Galactic Armory and then pay them a license. Funny, it's like a cross license fee, if you will, to use the art that Galactic Armory produced to produce end products. And I would bet, I would bet if provided a dollar per piece that Games Workshop sold, I would bet Galactic Armory might have heavily considered that deal.
Yep.
Because instead of them getting nothing, they get something. Because remember, 50% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Which, while not something that isn't a Fast and Furious quote, it is also a Fast and Furious quote. It has been said in many other occasions, but it was also said in Fast and Furious, and I will continue to make crappy Fast and Furious references until you watch at least the first 5. Damn it.
I'll do it eventually. Eventually.
I like that Galactic Armory, like, they recognized they were in the wrong there. Like, they totally recognized they were in the wrong.
Oh no, they already knew it. Like,
yeah,
anyone who makes anything for Warhammer in general,
it was a matter of time.
Even fan mods from the 15 years ago for Dawn of War 1, people knew making a mod, they would just randomly ask you to take it down.
Yep.
Like, that was just Games Workshop. They're not protective over their stuff in the same way that they're doing it because they're afraid. They just do it because they kind of are one of these companies that sits by the legal obligation route. Like, they are obligated to tell you to piss off. Whereas a lot of companies will strategically go, oh, I'm going to let it be because it doesn't affect us, but we get a good bit of publicity because people get to enjoy our media more. Games Workshop is very strict on allowable forms of media.
Yep.
And it goes with the video games. Even to who could make a official video game, for the longest period of time, it was licensed to only one company and one secondary company, I believe, which is why there wasn't this explosion of Space Marine and Warhammer video games. Only recently did it open up, and even then, they were licensing it via factions. Like, you could only make a game for one faction if you had the license for that faction. You couldn't include anything else.
That's so dumb.
It is. Games Workshop are not massively smart in the same way that we are.
They're thinking very short term. And to be clear, Chris Catlett had said they are legally required to protect it. That's how IP works. If you don't protect it, it can be invalidated. That is not actually correct. I thought it was correct for many years, and we were corrected by Seth Polanski that it is not correct. You are not legally required to enforce your intellectual property. You can choose to enforce it however you would like, wherever you would like, to whomever you would like, assuming they are in violation.
Yeah.
But you are not required to do it under the threat of invalidation. That is something that I have unfortunately said many times was the case. It is not the case, and I want to do my best to make sure that I am not continuing to perpetuate that incorrect statement. Yeah. So I do want to make sure
that we
put that out there.
I believe the only thing it makes it more difficult to do is if you then suddenly change your mind, they can come back going, you knew about this, you can't change your mind in this case.
No.
But not invalidating the pattern.
Yeah, so Galactic Armory cannot go and say, oh, well, they never did anything for all these years. We can invalidate their copyright. No, you can't. You cannot. And yeah, Chris, same. TIL. When we had Seth Polanski on last time to talk about fan art and things like that in the community, he's like, yeah, no, not a thing. And he said, unequivocally, all fan art is IP violations. It is illegal. Don't do it. And if you do it and you get a C&D, don't fight it. It's a waste of money. Just pull the models down. It's easier.
Yep. As most people have said, just it suddenly leaks to Telegram and then it's different.
Yep. Yeah. Like the War Thunder forums. Because that
Hey, do
definitely
you want
didn't
the
happen again.
F-35 manual? I definitely don't have the F-35 manual anymore, thanks to the War Thunder forums.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want the Warriors turret traversal rate to prove that it should actually be like 26.5 degrees per second instead of 25.1 that is currently modeled in the game?
You know what's funny?
Ooh.
We have a patent person in the chat right now, which I just love. Said there is estoppel issues, and whether one gets treble damages or not, but in general, one does not need to be as a hardcore as Games Workshop is about IP, and I don't disagree with that. Right, Galactic Armory has certainly provided value to Games Workshop that they did not have previously. Now that they are going down this path, you know, I don't necessarily. So
I can't hate Games Workshop for it because they've done it before. This is just part of the hobby, is knowing Games Workshop protects their stuff.
it's like, but if you were going to C&D someone, it's literally the right time the day before you release your own. Right? Like,
Yeah.
that's literally the right time to do it. So you know what? Props to them. We did catch a bunch of flack for not releasing that video earlier because the 48 hours had already passed by the time that video went live. But, like, that's not my fault. You know, it's a print fix Friday. It's not print fix Thursday. Like, get off it. But, you know, after seeing that GW is selling their own Space Marine helmet, you know what? This is, I think, the best possible outcome for Galactic Armory and the best possible outcome for Games Workshop. It's like Games Workshop allowed Galactic Armory to be there, and until they decided to release their own thing, not start designing it, but release it, they just coexisted. And then Games Workshop decided to be the Fire Nation and attack. But that's okay. They're legally allowed to do so. And love it or hate it, you know, Galactic Armory isn't in the right. I am bummed because it means a lot of that work, those artists that did that work, it's now gone. And I think the art, to me, is what bums me out the most, is like some of the work that they've done is now gone. But and like,
I don't know.
I love the work that they
I'm
do.
half in the other mindset because Warhammer art from the community, one of the things that makes it so good is how temporary it can be. Like, art doesn't have to always be around. It can be a cyclic thing, and I'm pretty sure Galactic Army knew this when they got into it. But a lot of the people who are in the hobby, we already came to the conclusions ages ago that there is a risk it just changes. Like how when Warhammer releases another faction edition and half your models are invalidated, you can't use them anymore.
Right.
Part of the art that went into painting those models is gone. And it's the same with the fan stuff. It's the same with everything else. And it's one of the things that actually makes it kind of okay, is while it is a bit bittersweet, the fact that those models are now gone isn't a loss. It's just a bit of grieving, as we knew when we got into it they would disappear eventually. There was no way they were going to stay up permanently forever. There was nowhere going to be a bastion of data that is a history of this design forever. Eventually, Games Workshop would have come along, exterminated it from orbit, and that's it. And that's what kind of makes it okay. This is just the inevitable conclusion of that arc. And how Galactic Army earned the money. They've been earning their money on that so far, and they're still gonna earn their money on everything else, from the Halo stuff to the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I'm not big into cosplay. Again, because of the threats that cosplay presents to my wallet. I just haven't gone down that path. I've always wanted to do a Nikola Tesla cosplay, just without the weird pigeon love story. We're just gonna skip over that and just do like a handheld Tesla coil, because that sounds like fun. And I'm a little too fat for that currently, but you know, whatever.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't gift you the game on Steam, which is dating pigeons. the dating pigeon simulator.
Jesus Christ, no, do not.
Apparently, it's a really good game as well.
I don't care. I will never play that.
I need to find what the name is.
God, no, please, no. That, no. Yeah, so when I was doing the piece for Print Fix Friday, like I'm familiar with Galactic Army, but I've never used their products before. Seeing their website, I'm like, my God. Like I went through like 10 pages. I'm like 80+% of this stuff is all IP theft. Like, and sure, it's fan art, but it's IP. They don't own it. Right? Why do so many of you...
boyfriend. There we go. I've got it. Oh, and it's in the chat as well.
Why was there more than one person that said what the name of this game was? Why is there more than one person in the chat that knows the name of the game for Pigeon Dating Simulator? Why? What are you people doing? You're not liking. And based on our metrics, you're not subscribing either. So what exactly are you doing with your time? I'm gonna zoom in further. Why?
Gotta date them pigeons, Grant. What are you gonna do with your time?
That boy ain't right. That boy ain't right.
Gotta get some avian love into you. You'll be fine.
No. Oh my gosh, no. As Reth says, Games Workshop can ban anyone using their IP. Artists need to be smarter and relabel 40K as something else. Yeah, like the Philenium Malkin. Like, come on, guys, don't be stupid. You know. Eric Colby, what the heck did I just walk into by joining late? Buddy, it's not on me, it's on this community. Imagine having the game and have 100% of the achievements. Yeah. Well.
No, I think what's more important is weeding out that comment's name.
Birdman Anyweather. Are you looking at your Steam achievements right now? Birdman Anyweather. You know, the autist knowledge of this community never ceases to amaze me, and I love everything about it. So we have debated on doing like an autism related line of clothing. So like the I'm on the spectrum and I'm dropping packets is the closest we've gotten so far. And when it says I'm on the spectrum, it is a parody of Spectrum's logo, right? So it's a double entendre of like I am neurodiverse, but I also have Spectrum internet. So like I'm on the spectrum and I'm dropping packets. And like who hasn't had a day as a neurospicy individual who is just like I'm not working right today. You're dropping packets. It's a double entendre every single day of the week, and it works really well. But someone in the Discord had a sticker on their printer, $10 tier and higher, by the way, available on Patreon, PayPal, YouTube channel members. Links down below. Had a sticker on their GD +4 that said "Rism with the Tism." I'm like, and it had a possum on it. I love possums. I'm like, we could do one like that with Victoria, acting like a goober and like with a 3D printer or something like that. I'm like, we could do that. We haven't. I'm just debating if that's like, is that too far? Like, is that taking it too far?
You do know what community we work in, right?
Yeah. And our Discord, by the way, you get discounts for merch in the Discord. So if you do want to pick up some merch, if you're looking to get more than a couple of shirts and you have no other reason to be in the Discord, the discounts for the clothing actually end up paying for the Discord. So I'm just going to put that out there. I've always wondered, like, what's the line? What's the line that we're supposed like we're
I
doing
still think you need to make a spoon shirt.
a spoon
Like,
shirt.
you're having a bad day,
autism
here's the
spoon.
little spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, while
Oh,
we're talking about spoons,
oh
I've
no.
got a
Oh
spoon.
no. He's got a spoon. Oh no.
I
Well,
got
at
a
least he's
spoon.
wearing pants, ladies and gentlemen. That's a plus. Andrew Rogers with the $10 for the Neurodivergent Individuals Rock Fund. Thank you, sir. Is that for the Geological Rock Fund, or is that, Rock Fund? Is it metal, headbanging kind of rock, or is it just like Dwayne the Rock Johnson kind of rock? I mean, there's a lot of rocks in the Neurodivergent Individuals world, and not all of them are because we're cool. Yes, Chris Catlett. My spoon is too big.
So, spoons. I got a takeaway. I know, bad. I know. Don't yell at me for it. I don't normally buy takeaways. I don't have the money for it. But I got Vietnamese pho. It was fantastic. What they gave me was a metal spoon in the takeaway.
What?
I have a metal spoon.
Hold on. Amber!
It's just a metal spoon.
Turn on the podcast. You need to see the spoon from Jacob.
It's also a really nice spoon. It's just cheap stamped stainless steel, and it's thin.
You have to see the spoon Jacob's showing on the podcast.
It's just a thin, cheap spoon, and it blew me away.
It does look like a pretty good spoon. It looks like a pretty good spoon.
It doesn't have any of that stupid fanciness on it. It is just a spoon, but it's kind of got the gullet.
Spoon. I need it.
Yeah, it came with a Vietnamese pho takeaway.
It looks like a pho spoon.
Yeah,
but
it came with takeaway.
I literally almost said that's a pho spoon.
Wait,
yeah,
Jacob ate food?
Yeah. But no, that is like the perfect spoon to come with.
That's
pho.
a pretty good spoon.
And it came free.
It is metal. Stamped.
It's metal.
You get to keep it?
So you might say that's the king of pho spoons. So it's a...
No.
Yeah, Jacob, next time you go there, ask them where they get those spoons from so we can buy some.
I'm not even kidding. Even though they're like crap tier quality because it's just stamped.
Who cares?
Stainless, it's a spoon.
Spooning with the bros, Doug with the 2
can-
pounds.
You can get bad spoons where they're kind of flowery and kind of poncy. This is just good spoon. And I really like it now. And this is probably their marketing budget, is putting metal cutlery in a takeaway.
You know what? Screw it. Doug's local-ish to you. Shout him out. Whatever. Give him the space on the stream. Shout him out. Who was the takeaway? Or were they any good?
They were.
Good? They were good?
So,
okay.
In Lincoln, we have 2 Vietnamese restaurants. One is pho. I don't know how they got a trademark on the name pho.
They did.
Which is Vietnamese main dish. It's the name of the chain.
Okay.
The chain is called pho.
Who's gonna sue him?
Duh.
You're in the UK. You're not in the US.
So that is where I got the spoon from. There's another one which is the House of Pho, and that was also quite good. They're a bit strong on the aniseed. Did not come with metal spoon.
We will go in Prague. There's a great place right by Prussia that makes just tremendous pho. Although Shane is partial to OMG. It's a little bit outside of the general area. We can get to it with public transit because they also have great sushi. Sushi was pretty good, and it's anime themed, which is a lot of fun. But it's not it's not like deep weeb core anime. It's like everyone knows, like One Punch Man and Naruto kind of animes, right? We definitely didn't walk by it 3 times before figuring out that was the place we were trying to find. Anyways, yeah, Doug for the 2 pounds saying spooning with bros.
It is not near Asda, Doug. It is not near Asda. It's on the Cornhill in the center of the city.
Apparently there's a Cafrello in Newark that you need to go there. Yeah, we have one pho place local. It's called Saigon Cafe. I'm going there on Tuesday. I have a business lunch there.
Take photos.
Yeah, I will. I'll send you pho. But
Honestly,
is
the best Vietnamese food I've had so far. Ironically, has come from the one place I thought I wouldn't get good food from, which is just called Vietnamese Street Food Kitchen. Like the most generic, this is probably going to be the most westernized version of Vietnamese food. It actually was quite nice. It wasn't bad. It wasn't westernized. It was just in a place I didn't expect, which is at the NEC, so the Newark National
Exposition?
words. No, it's the Expo Center. I just can never say the full word because I get tongue tied.
Exposition Center?
No, because you're saying exposition, which is an explanation. I don't know. I'm dyslexic. I don't know what I'm talking about. The NEC.
And I
the NEC. There's a building right next to
American.
it, and there is a just a food court, and in that food court there is Vietnamese street kitchen, and they make some of the best chicken wings. They make some really good just rice dishes. It is busted.
So when we were in Colorado, there's Saigon Basil up in Westminster. Was tremendous, some of the best pho we've ever had. But yeah, the one in Prague I think was actually one of my favorites so far. But since we're on food, I got a buddy of mine, his name is Sammy. He recently moved his food business out of Hudson, which is like an hour away, to being like 15 minutes away from my house. Chef Morocco. And for those that are in our Discord, know Mr. Man of the Sky. By the way, congratulations to you and Siam. They just had their first kid. Absolutely beautiful.
Aww.
Have a photo. Will not share it. Very, it's one of those things you don't share, but it's very cool. They recently got married. They have a kid. It's awesome. So happy for them. They live in Morocco. So, I don't know much about Moroccan food, but I got someone that lives in Morocco. So I was sending him pictures and videos of the whole thing as Sammy was doing his little thing with at Chef Morocco. It is a bit of a fusion restaurant, so it's Moroccan, but with New York fusion. So he did a Moroccan chopped cheese. Do you even know what a chopped cheese is?
No.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
trying to figure it out.
It's like a cheesesteak, but you chop it on the grill. And you chop the cheese into the beef, so it's chopped cheese. Okay, this is how this works.
How bad could it be? It's got beef and cheese, my two favorite ingredients.
Just a bunch of spices. It was good. They had a homemade garlic puree. It was just garlic pureed with avocado and there was another oil. There's avocado oil and some other oil. Amazing. They had the Moroccan white sauce, the Moroccan red sauce. Both were tremendous. I got like 6 or 7 different dishes from him. We're going to be helping him out with some marketing and filming and all that. He's still kind of new to that industry, but I told him, like, dude, this food was legit good. I'll take payment in food. Yeah, it was olive oil. That's fair. Mad Cat said like olive oil.
Olive oil was great.
Because I've not had a lot of Moroccan food. I'm like, dude, I need the Chef Sammy special. I just need you to make whatever the heck you would make when you were back in Morocco. That's what I want, right? I want tradition. If it's like super spicy, I want super spicy. I want traditional, proper, legit, so good. It was
eating traditional, proper, and legit is half the reason I now can't eat spice anymore, because I love spice.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the one thing I'm addicted to, and I got really big into actually good Chinese food, like not Chinese takeaway where it's westernized to oblivion. I had a couple friends at the university, and they would just take me on cuisine tours,
mm-hmm.
and I loved it. Turns out though, you need to ease your way into the spice level. Even though your tongue and your brain is fine with it, you can still burn a hole in the bottom of your stomach. So now I have, unfortunately, given myself a reaction if I have too much spice too quickly, and I have to wait a couple years until I work my way back up again. But damn, do I like when spice is good? It is so good.
I think Amber's heating some up right now. What are you heating up? Oh, okay, it's not. something else.
And for Luke, who has asked, yes, this is Iron Brew, the only drink that does look like you will go to the hospital after you're going to drink it.
Yeah, that looks like you're drinking pee.
Yeah, sunset orange. What is it?
Well, I will say, if you guys kind of want to follow, what? I don't know. Couldn't really tell. Thought it was the Moroccan food. But they're chef.morocco on Instagram. We will likely be doing our best to help them. I'm not great with Instagram marketing
I
and
guess you
stuff.
just gotta taste test everything to get the photos, obviously.
Duh. But yeah, we're gonna be helping him out, doing some business consulting and that kind of thing. And I've known him for a couple of years now, and this is my first time like having more than just a little sample of the food, and it was so good. So that was my fun food. Then in Miami, because of course it's Miami, you get tons of great options for food down there. We went to a place with one of our engineers. Met him for the first time in person. Went out with him and his girlfriend right before leaving to come back, and that was a great meal. Of course, I forget the name, but I can grab the receipt from my wallet and find out. It was on the Miracle Mile in Miami, which is not a cheap place to get food, and it was still quite good. It was Doc B's restaurant, 301 Miracle Mile in Coral Gables, Florida. Those are all the zip code 33134 is an expensive zip code. The city of Coral Gables is an expensive city to live in, period.
Okay. When I come out to Florida, you are taking me on a food tour.
I'm not good at that. I'm really not.
Do you think I'm good at that? No.
So
that's why I'm going to get you to do it, so I don't have to.
He recommended the chicken parm, so I had it. It is the second best chicken parm that I've ever had in my life. My mother will always make the best chicken parm. And if I say anything other than that, I am likely to be beheaded by a chancla flying like 100 miles an hour from Bradenton, Florida to here. And then, they started with the guac and homemade sweet potato chips. Very nice. Homemade guac as well. I had chicken parm. He had chicken parm as well. Amber had chicken kebabs, and the individual's girlfriend had ginger dressed chicken salad. I finished with their homemade Oreo ice cream, because of course you do. They split an affogato, which is espresso over ice cream.
Ooh.
I am not a coffee guy, but I was told it was quite good. And Amber had the pâte crème, which is like a chocolate mousse thing. It's not a cheap meal, but we were talking business, so thanks 3D Musketeers for picking up the tab on that one. But it was totally worth it. I did not realize you could have meals that affordable in that area of Florida. The fact that it was under $200 for 4 people after tip, all done,
that's quite impressive,
was incredible. I'm like, wow, that was pretty cheap, and the food was tremendous. But yeah, that was my food. We were trying to figure out a place to go Friday night. We were trying to get together with Hector, but he did not see my messages until it was way too late. We were trying to find a place. We were in Dadeland, Miami. I should have just asked the staff member where to go, but I was too stupid and didn't think about that, so I didn't. So I ended up going to like a steak place that was okay. I would have rather gone to Doc B's twice. Would have been much better. Miami's always fun. I might be going down next weekend. I don't know, because next weekend is when everyone's celebrating my grandmother's birthday. So I might be going back down. So potentially there might be a show that I do in Miami. I got to figure out what the travel plans are for all that. I'm not driving again. I just did it. I'm not doing it again. Not in my car. But my mom wants to go, so we'll figure that out. But anyways, yeah, that was my little food thing for this week. The Chef Morocco with Sammy. Phenomenal food. He's a great chef, working out of a very small trailer. We gotta work on his like marketing and stuff. So if you are in the Discord, the 3D Musketeers Discord, I will be sharing with you guys all the behind the scenes stuff that we do with him. including like asking for opinions on signage, logos, and things like that. He's got a great logo, unless you're driving by, and then it's a terrible logo. It says Chef Morocco, but it's wearing a fez, and it's got some trees in the background of the logo. I'm like, it doesn't make sense if you're driving by at 45 mile an hour. You won't be able to read it. So, trying to work on that kind of stuff for him, but yeah.
Like for logos in general, if you
it's so
can't
tough.
print it on a fax machine and you can tell what it is, it's a bad logo.
Yep. I mean, literally when we went through the rebranding of 3D Musketeers, and this is valuable for any small business out there, when we went through the rebranding of 3D Musketeers, part of the deal was designing the logo in black and white.
Yep.
Well, we started in grayscale, but then we went to black and white to make sure that no matter what the logo is on, whether it's a business card or a full color t-shirt or whatever, that it would be easy to read and it would be easy to understand.
Yep.
And if your logo, if you like, you know, take a picture of it and turn that picture to black and white and you can't read it, that's a crappy logo. It needs to be changed.
Yep. The other one is if you can draw it with your eyes closed after showing it to somebody for maybe 10 seconds. It needs to be a shape.
I can't do that with
isn't
my logo.
too complicated.
I can't
Yeah,
do
you
that.
can. Doesn't
No.
mean it's very good, but it's just a circle with a bop and a little flower. That's it. Not a flower.
Okay, that's
thing.
fair. Dream's voice said he's been told off by me for his font choice. Was it Comic Sans? It was probably Comic Sans. And yes, as Matt Cat says, if you want to join the Discord, $10 tier or higher on the Patreon, YouTube channel members, or recurring PayPal donation, will get access. Come and join the fun, where we will be doing an after show hangout. So if you want to come hang out with us after the show, I'm assuming there are people in there hanging out already.
I wouldn't be able to tell because my Discord window is on the dying monitor.
Because of course. You literally, I'm like, why do I have a DM from Jacob? I have a DM from Jacob for the damn Steam game of Hatoful Boyfriend. It's a pigeon dating. I hate this so much. It's got 5,400 recommendations and a 68 on Metacritic. I hate this. I swear to God, if I look at my personal email right now and it is sitting, do you have my Steam account?
Let me find out.
No.
Oh, I could get the collector's edition. Ooh.
All right, I have not been gifted it, so I will not accept the gift. I do not have to accept a Steam gift. You all are weird. Y'all are freaking weird people. In kind of the good way, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, no reason.
huh?
No reason not to check your emails again.
Son of a bitch. We friends on Steam. I will not accept it.
It's processing. It's processing.
I'm not going to accept it. You can't make me.
Oh,
Damn
there
it,
you
you've received a copy of a So here, I will show it on the screen so people can see. Focus. Thank you. I've received a gift. I am not going to accept the gift.
Do it.
Nope.
I will give you bad raps instead if you deny that.
I will deny both of them. Oh my God, no. Why? Why have you done this? You've spent $10 on a joke. Go spend $10 on more pho. Spend $10 to figure out where they get those spoons from, so we can buy a container of them.
They are so good spoons. And that's why you like me to pay for the Discord, because you get this craziness and I need to recoup my losses now.
And I think we're gonna do a Discord game night with Guilty as a Sock. I think I need a good like couple of days where I'm a little like easier for my scheduling, but I did buy Guilty as a Sock. We wanted to try that as the Discord because we can get a little crazy in that server. And yeah, we've played Repo plenty. I've played Repo with Jacob. I've streamed, well, not my stream. I've been on my friend Jazz and Joe's Leveled Up Lovers on their stream about it. Also, Amber wants to know why you asked about her stash, Doug. We have no idea what you're referencing. Because Amber messaged me rather than just asking you what it was. But okay. Yeah, I do want to start playing video games more. I do want to start streaming on Twitch again, but I have to, like, get all of that figured out for timing. The only way to find my Twitch channel, it's like I have a personal Twitch channel, is through the Discord. I do not publicize, and if I have, I will not anymore. And I will not play that pigeon dating simulator.
You should. You should. Amber, you're in the chat. You're watching this. You need to go on Grant's PC and make sure he gets the pigeon dating game. He just declined it. He needs to accept it this time.
I can't decline it. The only thing you can click is accept. But if you don't accept it within 72 hours or something like that, it automatically declines.
Should not have said that. Amber, you need to get on Grant's phone and click accept.
I'll just delete the email.
I will bribe you. So you can't delete it from Steam. This will be a thing. It's gonna end up
This
in your
is organized crime. I am the victim of organized crime. This doesn't work for me. No, wait, put it on the editing PC. It doesn't have a Steam account.
It will now.
So yeah, even though this came out 2 weeks ago, we didn't have a show last week. The collab with Sam Crack. This is the actual broken part from his BMW i8. You can see it still has the orange chalk on it from the sidewalk chalk that we sprinkled on it. And then here is the piece of Play-Doh. That's a little piece of Play-Doh that we used to fix it for the video, for the 3D scan. So I am pretty much done with it. I've got a sample. It's still in the printer because I printed it when we left for Miami. But I have a sample of it ready to go. I just need to get over to Sam's in a time that makes sense for all of us and be able to test it, see if it fits in the car and works long term. It was a lot of fun doing that project. And as we said in the Print Fix Friday 200, we want to do more stuff like this. We want to do more projects. We want to collaborate with other content creators. We love to do that kind of thing. But I'm a car guy. If that wasn't immediately obvious, I've been a car guy most of my life. I would love to do custom parts for cars, and specifically ones that are like, this is so stupid. It could have been designed better. It is an absolutely ridiculous thing, the way that it was designed. And I firmly believe it was not designed to last. Now, is that planned obsolescence? I cannot claim that because that would be a legal thing. But I do not believe it was designed to last a lifetime of the vehicle. And because of that, we're going to open source it. Yes, we could still get hit with a cease and desist. We cannot get hit with an actual lawsuit because there is no financial loss to BMW. They do not sell this component. It is not possible to buy it directly from them. Nor they sell the entire latch. You can't buy the latch brand new anymore. You have to buy them used. They do not stock the parts. It's a 10-year-old car. So they could, but I don't care. We're going to open source it and rely on the community to be like, okay, we got C indeed. I'll put it up on the wall with the other cease and desist because it just means we did something right and we pissed off a company. But then I'll just rely on the community to continue to repost it as they tend to. Chris Catlin says that door part would be the perfect use case for TPU 60D glass fiber, indestructible with some flex. It cannot flex. It has to be very, very, very stiff. We do not want it to flex because the door latch mechanism is a rod and cable system that operates from an electronic linear actuator. It's like a door popper.
Yeah, you don't want that flexing at all.
You don't.
The moment that flexes, the entire system shuts down.
Well, it might not latch properly, and because of the way that car is designed, it doesn't like to drive with the doors open because it has the billionaire doors, right? They don't go like this. They don't go like this. They go like this, okay? It's got the billionaire doors. PPS could work, as Scotty Almondjoy is saying. It is, however, outside of the spec of most people. I think I'm going to go with a carbon fiber or glass-filled nylon for it, maybe PCCF. The one that we printed was a PETG CF, so I can
That's
try
still pretty
that
good.
first. Because PETG should be more than strong. It shouldn't get that hot inside of the door, and the car's white on the outside, so I'm not too worried about heat.
Well, even if it doesn't, like Pet GCF generally only gets soft to like 95C. At
Well-
95C, your other polymers are having issues in the entire vehicle.
Oh, and okay, the 60D has like 0.1 millimeter flex. All right, I guess I gotta bother Mitch since I didn't already order 42 kilos from him earlier this week or earlier last week. Jesus.
Wild Mo's one of Pet CF. That's my personal choice. I use Pet CF for everything nowadays.
I don't have Pet CF here. It is not
Really?
a material that we get. No one asks for raw pet, and I often
It prints really nice.
well, it's a CF, so of course it does. But I often push people away from carbon fiber materials unless they want it for the look. Because if you don't want it for the look, it is weaker. Oh, it's from 3DX. Okay, I'll call 3DX. I thought it was Polar because they have a 60D TPU. In fact, do I have... Are they in here? No. I just made some parts in the 60D TPU. I like it. I mean, my mouse risers. This is their 60D TPU in orange, and this is a little solid, but it's got just enough spring for it's an ergonomic riser for the for the Logitech MX Ergo. The steel plate's still on the ground, but yeah, I really do like the 60D TPU. I think it is a very nice material. One of my favorite TPUs to date in a long time. Highly recommended from Polar. Yeah, I'll reach out to 3DX and see if we can get some. They're my go-to for exotics. I just don't really need a bunch. But yeah, like that was so what you guys saw was the result of about 4 hours of scanning, reverse engineering, designing, filming, which takes a while, and then printing right there at his house. So I did not go home to print those parts. That was done on his X1 Carbon, not mine. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a fun part. I have no idea what this thing is made out of. There is no maker mark, but it is shiny, which tells me it might be polycarb, because you don't often find a like glass fiber or carbon fiber material that's injection molded that is physically shiny on its surfaces.
Yeah.
And hilariously, that resulted in it being quite difficult to scan. I was not expecting it to be that shiny, so it was quite complicated to scan, but the job is basically ready. I've got a few different samples with varying hoop sizes and how much material is there to see, you know, what is the strongest way to do it and what we can get away with before the door stops functioning the way that it should. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Trying to think if there's anything else that I can talk about that on, because like there's a lot that I am privy to from that is very private, right?
Yeah.
It's like I've met Sam's family. I am not going to talk about them. He does not show them in his videos. I did not meet Sam's stepmom. Stop it, all of you absolute gooners in the video asking if I met Sam's stepmom. You don't.
Sam's stepmom got it going on.
You don't know the reference to this, do you?
Nope.
He had.
I only found out about his YouTube channel because you told me about it.
He had a. Let's go with an industry, a widely known industry professional in the adult film industry cameo in a few of his videos. I never asked why. But next time I see him, I'm like, why did you do this? What was the point? I'm so curious. As his stepmom. And it was such a bit. It was, and like fixing her car, right? It was, yeah, Tarzman put the name of the person in the chat for research purposes. I'm not gonna say it. I guess I can because we're gonna have an audio only. So it's Corey Chase. Research for research purposes, if you'd like to see their catalog of works, if you will. But
learn where the camera
like,
has to go for the ultimate shot.
I figured maybe they are related. Maybe this isn't a joke, but nothing that I could find told me that they're related, right?
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, we should get a VPN. See, this would be a great time to have a VPN sponsor so we could shield the VPN sponsor because the United States and, you know, that kind of stuff. What's the stream this happened for research purpose? There's a few videos of him fixing his stepmom's car on Sam Crack's channel. But yeah, I mean, it's seriously just a down-to-earth guy. He is building my dream workshop. Like, Jacob, it's like 18-foot ceilings, okay? Like 3.5 meter ceilings, okay? No, 5.5 meter ceilings. No, more than that. 6 meter ceilings. 6 meter ceilings. 6 meter ceilings. With multiple bays, like roll-up bay doors. He's gonna put lifts in there, so stackers, so he can store cars above each other for stackers. And then there's gonna be a whole little lounge area where he can hang out, you know, when he needs to take a break. He's big into the racing simulator video games, but not iRacing, not that kind of stuff, not the hardcore stuff, like the ones where you go to the arcade and you sit in like the replica car and you race those. He's got a few of them. I won't mention what they are because he's going to do a video on it, but he's got a few of them and they're going to be a part of this little hangout area that he's doing. It is such a nice space, and he built it from the ground up. Thick concrete floor. It's wood construction, which I was surprised about. The steel building, but it's wood interior construction. And it went through, he's half an hour for me. He's closer to the coast than I am. And, you know, it went through the hurricanes and no issues. So.
Must be good enough.
But he did tell me what it costs. And I'm like, that is outside of my budget. Maybe when I hit 1.6 million subscribers, I too could afford it. But for him, this is where he does his work. This is his business. And it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I love it. And, you know, it was still bare bones when I was in there. But I saw the next big project car, the next big series he's doing. And I think I want to participate in it. I'm not going to mention it.
You've always big into automotive, so this is right up your street.
Well, and it's like, you know, X amount of horsepower for X amount of money. Like, what's the best thing you can get for a low budget but a lot of horsepower, right? And so I'm hoping, and he's also a dealer. That's so the trick that you might not know is he's a dealer. He has his dealership license, so he owns these cars, but he can go to Copart, which are like the auto auctions, right?
Yeah.
And he can buy it because he's a dealer. He doesn't need to work with another dealer and pay a premium to that dealer to buy it.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. Car dealer. Yes, excuse me. He's a car dealer. Right.
I was going to say, I'm like, the moment you said he's a dealer, I'm like a ketamine dealer? Like, are we talking the same thing right here?
He's a car dealer. In my head, it was obvious that he was a car dealer, but the fact that multiple people said it, and yes, my Tarzman0 my brother said, when confusing, Chris has to explain it. Yes, when confusing, Chris has to say it's a car dealer. Yes, he is a car dealer. He has his car dealer's license. That's why you'll see the license plates in his videos are all dealer plates. because he has a car dealer license, so he can buy the cars directly from Copart. The one that he got, it's a nice car for not a lot of money. Like, it's such a cheap car. It's such a nice car for such a little amount of money. I told him if he finds another one reasonably close to that, just call me. Just call me. It was a lot of car for very little money. Anyways, it's a very cool thing. And it's like, I've watched him for years before I was a content creator, right? I know the car and no. I watched him for years before I got into being a content creator, and being able to see the behind the scenes of how he does it and understanding more to the process, and more specifically being able to talk to somebody else that does content creation for a living, but does it in a completely separate field. And they're talking about the same things that I talk to our team about, like storytelling and making sure that, the videos flow really well, that we have a hero's journey where we can. That kind of stuff is so important to me. And it's something that we're not the best on. It's something that I need to get better at. I would love to be able to take a lot of this advice and do better, and it's something that I'm working on. But it's nice to see that when you go into a different industry, it's the same stuff. People are talking about the same stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
it means
okay.
You're on the right track as well.
It means I'm not crazy. Right? It means like the things that I'm looking at myself saying, you kind of suck with storytelling and you need to do better. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can find an audio book about it or a YouTube video that I can listen to. I was trying to find an audiobook that I could listen to while I was driving. I did not successfully find one that would help. So that did not occur. But I don't know, maybe I go down next weekend and I have another week to find it. But it was refreshing to see that it is a thing that not just my industry is working on. So, and for Sam, this was cool because this was like one of the first times he's like actively used a 3D printer to fix a car. He's done like body panel puller tools and some small little bits and bobs here or there on the printer. But this was like the first time reverse engineering occurred. That's pretty cool. And so he thought that was cool. And it was just kind of nice to hang out with someone who built something from the ground up. He does all the editing himself that I'm aware of. He does not have a team. We have a team. He does not have a team. So he's doing quite well, and I could not be happier for him. And his videos are proof of it. That video has almost 850,000 views last I checked. It made it to number 15 on the trending page, and he spent way more time than I was expecting talking about us. That was kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. So, Sam, if you're listening, we're 2.5 hours deep. I doubt you are. But if you are, thanks, dude. We need to get back together. I'll text you tomorrow. Enjoy your Sunday. Zaxman says, so the next project is a 1999 Skyline GTR R34. If it was that, for the price point that this challenge is going to be at, I would have brought him a cashier check for double that and taken the car. And not a single person in the history of people would have ever said that I made a bad decision. Who is Sam? Sam Crack, YouTuber. So he's a YouTuber.
Doesn't sell crack. He's a dealer.
No. His last name starts CRAC. So Sam Crack is just a shortened version of his name. Yep.
Okay, we covered that. He's not a dealer.
No.
He's just a
car dealer. Deals cars. Which,
Deals
for
cars.
some people, more expensive than drugs. More expensive than drugs. Anyways.
Oh.
Bambu Lab farm software.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? I am mixed feelings.
I I was not expecting it to come out free. So Bambu Lab released version 1.0. I think it's technically 2.0, but it's the first public release of their farm software, their farm manager software, for free. They have stated that it is missing features.
I did expect it to be free, though.
I did not.
And I expected it to be free to enter the market and then add paid features. Like, maybe limit it to like 4 or 5 printers. Maybe limit it to this. Like, have a free entry to get people into it and then hook them in. Like that's a common tactic.
I mean, literally, it says availability and pricing. Bambu Farm Manager is free to download, available for users running Windows 10 and higher. Everything in the current version of Bambu Farm Manager is and will remain free to use. We do plan to introduce more advanced and paid features in the future. These are still under exploration and no decisions have been made regarding their scope or pricing. Our focus is on building out the software in a way that brings real value to teams running serious 3D printing operations without compromising access to the core platform. And honestly, 100% amazing. Those 2 paragraphs, you could not have said it better. You could not have said it better.
I have mixed feelings because this is so good.
Love it.
This is so out of left field for Bambu.
It is not what you expect from them.
Down their machine so you can't do stuff with. The company that is locked down third-party support so you can't do anything with suddenly has gone, this is free and always will be free. This is this and always will be this. And the other side is, this is local and 100% like your data is yours. And that felt really weird to me because this is the company that has stolen all your data so far, caused international incidents because of it, and then it's like, this is a local thing only. The server is local in your network. The printer is local in your network, and the client is local in your network. It is a local network, no external connection. I don't know what to think.
Oh, and
it's
this is
so good.
This was the person that I met at Smurf. I'm like, I just Googled their name. It's Nadia. This was the person that I met at Smurf last year. Huh. Cool. She was super nice. Super nice. So she wrote this. So she wrote this article. Yeah. There are some things about the software that raise eyebrows for me. If all you do is you look at the availability and pricing point, you love it. But there's some things like Farm Manager Server runs 24/7 in the background and handles all communication with your printers. Farm Manager Client is the interface you use to monitor and control your farm. There's no hard limit on how many printers you can connect, just what your network and PC can handle. Great. It has real-time monitoring, batch control, smart queuing, organized file handling, smart power management, and you can opt to enable staggered print initiation to prevent power overloads. That is such a nice feature. Now, to be clear, if you are running these machines in a professional level, you should not need to stagger 3D printers to keep from overloading your servers. Or not your servers, your circuits.
Your circuits.
Yeah. If you are having to stagger machines to keep from overloading your circuits, you need to add more circuits. Please. But at the same time, if you're also running a major farm, you should have battery backups. So in the event your dumb brain does accidentally pop a breaker, the battery backups pick it up while you are quickly running to the breaker saying, crap, 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 crap.
Yeah, it caught me completely off guard with how, dare I say, progressive this change in behavior is.
This is progressive for what we expect from Bambu. But see, there's a part of this that like makes total sense. Like, so I didn't expect it, but I probably should have, right? Bambu putting this out publicly and free in the beginning is literally free beta testing.
Yeah. And they've openly said that they're still developing it.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I just expected them to have at least one form of data capture.
Mm-hmm.
At least. And the fact that they're keeping it all locked down. Now, they haven't mentioned that if the printers can individually connect to the internet or not, bypassing the everything is local mindset.
Well-
That could literally be the background of why they're not mentioning it. But it does look like they've put an emphasis on data security. Like there was literally like a couple of quotes in there that is like it's all IT focused for
Yeah.
data like security. And I'm like,
Yep, this setup
Is
appeals
this
to
the same
print
company?
farms, business and educators, and institutions with strict IT policies or data protection requirements, as well as makers who simply want more control over their setup. Like, very much
like
clap,
that is
clap,
a
clap here.
star. That is amazing.
Now, to be
It
clear,
just feels weird.
I can't run it. Can't run it.
I still can't trust the hardware.
Well, my
But I
machine is
like
too
this.
far out of date. It's too far out of date. They've been beta testing this since July of 24. It soft launched May 27 of 25. It currently supports P1A1 and X1 series printers. They're working on the X1E in Q3 and H2D in Q4. So we should see that pretty soon. It is Windows only, which I get for some people is a bit of a big deal. But if it truly is offline, truly air-gapped, is Bambu actually starting to listen? Now, that does not keep the machines from logging data and violating non-disclosures by the machine logging data that you can't stop it from doing, right? So the NDA that I signed for the celebrity for the movie is so egregious, I had to get on paper permission to do the work that we were supposed to do. But they needed to cover all their bases, and I understand that. An NDA like that, if I printed anything on a Bambu printer, even if it was completely air-gapped, I have fundamentally violated that NDA. And the people that we are working with, it is a multi-million-dollar production.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is one of those cases of, if you are operating in a secure environment, don't do this. Just, you shouldn't have Bambus in the first place. You shouldn't, right? There are other
if your
options out
environment
there.
is that secure, you're not actually caring about the penny pinching of getting a Bambu.
Exactly, right? Like if you're doing ITAR work, you likely have Stratasys money. Go buy a Stratasys. I understand there might be other options. Go buy a Prusa if you want. But it's the made in China, which is the problem. Regardless of what privacy and control that they have. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this can be segmented. But I will be very curious to see what added features get locked down. Right, so currently nothing is locked down. And according to this, and we have in writing from them, that everything that this software has is and will always be free. Now, they don't talk about will the version continue to update and be free, but this current version is free. We don't know if it comes with updates, and then you have to pay to enable other features. But I am worried as to what level of control the software could have. To be clear, I don't think anybody else has something remotely close to this. The next closest thing is going to be Prusa Connect.
And that's
Right.
not even close. It's not even close.
From what I've seen, the current release of the Bambu Farm Manager is eerily close to Prusa Connect. Eerily close.
The problem with Prusa Connect is it's just there's not a lot in it. It's a very simple connection.
It
That's
is. It does not allow for granularity. It, like, dude, the freaking total absolute ability to like stagger machine heatings, that's not available in any other software that I'm aware of. Like,
Yeah.
if you are looking to build a print farm right now, like if you're looking to, print to general consumers, this software would be one of the driving factors that I would say that would push me as a business if I was looking for consumer grade printing, but me as a business to use Bambu 3D printers straight up. And specifically, I'd use P1Ps and P1Ss because with a farm software, the screens don't matter anymore. Because your screen is now the interface software. That's what matters. And so,
honestly, once you go to a nice like web UI, screens become irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like even in my factory,
they just suck power
where
down.
I've got nice big screens and all of this. I don't even get up from my seat to turn machines on.
Yeah.
I just log into the web UI, send a file, let it do its thing because I know it works first time, and I go back in an hour, and that's it. And on the new console 2, we've got a camera, so I don't even need to do that. I can actually see what's on it, which is even better.
But like your machine was designed from the ground up to be secure, right? You guys,
yeah, but the point I'm getting at is a web UI. Like having a web UI just invalidates the requirement of having a screen.
Right.
Just straight up. Like being able to stay, like imagine being right now in front of your computer. You don't even have to turn around to look at your printer. You can just click a button and it does the thing.
That's nice.
The laziness of it is so nice to have.
What it allows you to do is manage a lot of printers. So instead of having like, I figure reasonably, it's one person per 100 machines. If you have less than 100 machines, probably one person per 50 or one person per 25 machines. But once you're over 100 machines, it's one person per 100 machines. It's pretty reasonable for one person to handle. Especially if you have a good software. Now, it's one person for the whole farm. Yep. The whole farm can be ran by one person. Scotty Almondjoy is giving me crap, saying, you're literally on a podcast with a guy whose machines you could be shilling, and yet you say buy Stratasys. That's fair. That's a mistake.
Yeah, go on.
That's fair.
We have a launch window now that we're aiming for, which is
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
No, I'm saying it because it's guaranteeing it's going to slip.
Got it.
The moment you say it, it slips.
Yeah, that's fair. Don't buy a Stratasys, buy a Construct 3D. And what a misstep on my part there. Why did you jump in? You didn't even jump in. It's your company.
Because the more people buy Stratasys, the better my company succeeds.
Honestly, that's fair. They
regret their decisions almost instantly, and then they just go immediately to me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Oh, and I guess tell you we've got the new flow rate numbers. We've finally locked in some flow rate numbers.
No,
8 kilos per day in ABS, and an average in PLA of 4 kilos per day.
I went through 8 kilos of PETG in less than 24 hours. That was fun.
How many machines, though?
Huh?
How many machines, though?
3.
Imagine that on 1.
I know. I could make back my money 4 days. Well, 4 jobs. Probably closer to a week on a Construct 3D Construct 2. I could make back the entire money. 4 jobs. Now, my margins are also quite good. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. We're literally on like the annoyingly small bits. We're making a filament sensor, which should be the world's smallest filament sensor. We have found a micro switch, which is 2 millimeters by 3 millimeters.
Why?
And it has a pogo pin on the inside of it. And the reason being is we want to fit it inside the Bondtech LGX housing front plate. Not the actual housing, just the 3 millimeters thick front plate. So it's a drop-in upgrade for any LGX machine that can have a filament sensor now in the same print volume like size. Like you don't need to change anything, it just clicks in. Yeah, we're going a bit OTT. But
oh man, over the top for Construct 3D. I would have never expected that, Jacob.
I literally spent like 4 hours with my friend Chris. I went to his house to learn PCB manufacture, and we spent 4 hours finding the right micro switch.
We have people on the 3D Musketeers team that do this professionally. We've talked about this before. We've got a guy for that.
I got to meet a friend I haven't seen in like a decade.
That helps.
It was great.
So, you know, this, And I guess according to Chris Catlett, Polar3D.com also offers a relatively similar thing for Bambu printers that are compatible with X1 Plus. They've reached out. I guess, again, I'm not a huge... Like, when you have cloud in your name, I just... Rubs me the wrong way. Just rubs me the wrong way. And, you know, I think that Bambu has done this, like, if I look at the ideal way that I would want to see something like this happen, I'm not certain I could have done it better myself. I'm
Honestly,
not
I think
certain that
Bambu
I
Lab
could
have done it perfectly.
And it's this is not something you often hear from this show,
No.
right? You know, there are plenty of very valid reasons that we and many others can and have criticized Bambu Lab. Some people refuse to accept it, but that just is U.S. politics in a nutshell.
I am the opposite of a Bambu Lab shill, and I am singing their praises on this. Like, if this is as it seems in their blog post, this is the right step for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It is good for data security, which is personally my biggest issue is data security. It's the thing that not a lot of people pay attention to, and it's the reason why companies get more valuable over time is they capture your data. This is good for data security.
It is. It's great for data security. It's phenomenal for data security. And further, Catlett is saying that Polar 3D, their cloud, also works on all Prusa printers. Amazing setup for education with approval queues. Ooh. See, approval queues.
Cool. That. Ooh.
Especially,
I like that.
You know, it's crazy. I can pretty much tell you exactly when finals are at the local engineering colleges because
you get a sudden influx of stupid designs that can't be printed. Yep.
And it's I need it tomorrow. I don't care what it costs. If I can pick it up tonight, even better. And we always do deep education discounts. We do our best to never charge teachers, because they don't get paid enough as it is. Students, if they clearly waited to the last minute and they told me they waited to the last minute, I do not give them a discount. If the print lab failed to complete their job for whatever reason, we will give them a thing. If one of their team members ghosted them or whatever, we'll give them discounts. But yeah, if it's their own damn fault, sorry, kid.
You get the last minute.
It's your own damn fault. But you know, I look at like having an education queue, and see, this is where I worry on the Bambu side of what is it missing that we haven't thought of, where they could come up with something new and unique, they lock it out, and then potentially patent it, and now nobody else can use it. And you might say Bambu would never do that. Bambu is incredibly...
Bambu would 100% do that.
Bambu is incredibly heavy on the patents, which reminds me... Let's check their docket. Let me see where their docket's at.
Yeah, Bambu is very, very smart when it comes to patents. Hell, for everybody who doesn't realize, even Construct 3D has patents. Like, it's just part of the industry. You have to. You have to protect what makes you special and unique.
Oh, so Bambu's filed complaints against a counterclaim, if you will. Sorry, against Stratasys. I have no idea what it's about because I refuse to buy it on Pacer. But yeah, the most recent update was on the 18th of July, 2025, saying that there was an answer to the counterclaims. So
honestly, it's probably legitimate. Somehow Stratasys once again patented a heated bed. The patent ran out. They repatented it with the same terminology and the same images because nobody checks the documentation when Stratasys submits it. So
unfortunately,
it might be legit.
Unfortunately, we have to like kind of poo-poo the USPTO there. I think there was a bit of a failure in that world, but whatever. As far as the law is concerned, Bambu's in the wrong. I'm not getting into it. We did a whole video on this a while back, and once it is finally resolved, we will do an update video on it. Oh, gosh. And, okay, so Polar charges $500 per year per school district flat fee.
That's
Nothing.
good.
That's
That's
nothing.
really good.
It's nothing. Oh, Wrath, of course you're still here. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, 500 per year is a
that's
drop in the bucket.
well, maybe for UK schools, okay? All right. US schools are currently
Oh no,
having
no,
to
UK
fight.
schools are burning alive.
Are they
Teachers are
being
buying pencils for their students?
Are they being forced to hang the Ten Commandments in their classrooms, even though the obviousness of separation of church and state exists, but they just don't listen to it? No, I didn't think so. Anyways,
yours is worse.
teachers being poor and having to buy their own supplies because the school's not providing them, and the kids don't have access to it for whatever financial reasons. Yeah, that's been a thing for decades, unfortunately. Literally, I would have been a teacher if it wasn't for the fact that there are just some kids that just are a pain. And as Tarzman says, teachers being paid crap is a choice.
So what I'm hearing from
look,
is I would have been a teacher if there wasn't kids.
No, I wouldn't. I would have been a teacher if the pay was decent and there was respect. Right? You know what?
Just no pay.
Bring back
There's
corporal
no pay.
punishment. You'll solve a lot of the issues that we got. Look, have kids be afraid to get hit with a ruler. You know, Sunday school kind of days. You know, nah, man, that's fear of God.
To be fair, I literally had whiteboard markers thrown at me from halfway across the class. I did suddenly learn 100%. And I suddenly learned when I'm telling my funny jokes, I'm going to do it in little indoor voice now.
Well, you know, I've had some great professors throughout the years that were teaching simply because they wanted to, not because they had to. And a lot of teachers currently are teaching because they want to, not because they have to, because they could go get better jobs working elsewhere. But I think it is up, and I try not to get political. This will be my one political soapbox for this. It is pitiful the way that we look at supporting teachers and public schools in the United States when we can give so much money. We give more money to ICE to detain people in what are effectively concentration camps. Go ahead, compare the photos. Tell me I'm wrong. And we can't pay teachers a decent salary. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. We spend more in defense for a country that hasn't been in war in decades. We don't need to spend this much money in defense. Spend it in fixing our education system. People make fun of us for how stupid Americans are. Can we fix that, please? All right. Soapbox is done. Rob, don't call it Alligator Alcatraz. It's Alligator Auschwitz. And I refuse to call it anything else because it's exactly what it is. Compare the damn photos and tell me it's not the same. Yeah. And yes, as Diameta says, too political. I'm with you 100%, but be careful. You know what? If you have a problem with paying teachers a livable wage and that political point upsets you, unsubscribe and never come back. I do not want you on this channel. If you don't believe that teachers should be paid a livable wage to put up with the crap that they do, then I don't want you watching our videos. Simple as that.
Good teachers is the only reason I am here. And if it wasn't for those good teachers that had it as a calling, I wouldn't be as smart as I am now, because they were the ones that were able to click and just, they knew how to teach.
Professor John Winchester. I still remember his name from over half of my life ago. I still remember his name. Because he was the one that put me down this path of where I am today. If it was not for that man, I would not be where I am today. Period. End of story.
I still stand by the biggest travesty to the entire world is when governments realized teachers do it as a calling and therefore they will do it for less. And then that is what has been stealing the futures of kids, has been the slow degradation of funding to the next generations, to the
Now-
point where teachers are struggling to even feed themselves half the time because they're buying things to help teaching instead of food.
With all of that being said, I will say the brand new high school a couple of blocks away from me, amazing. If I could go back to high school, I would. The programs that they offer there are preparing kids for real jobs. A lot of them are not requiring any college, right? You can get your GC license, your general contractor's license at 18 years old as a senior
That
in high
is
school.
good to have.
You can leave high school and walk into a high 5-figure, low 6-figure job. And while, yeah, that doesn't afford you a house in the current economy, it allows you to live. And that is a lot different than a lot of students who are going to a generic high school, getting a generic diploma. They're going to a college, going tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt. You know, it's different. And I love that they're doing that. You can get your ASE certification for being a mechanic. You want one of the most lucrative jobs out there? Mechanics and welders. 2 most lucrative jobs on the planet. Next to HVAC techs and plumbers. So when you look at like electrical, HVAC, plumbing, those are things that never go away. If you suck at numbers, you can't be an accountant, great. Great with your hands, HVAC, electrical, plumbing. Go get certified in any of those. You can walk into a high 6-figure, high 5-figure, low 6-figure job with the basic qualifications. You can walk right into it. It's trades. The money is in trades right now.
They are never disappearing.
Like, I knew a gentleman. I don't know him anymore. I haven't seen him in years. He was a welder. He quit high school. Never got his GED, never got his diploma, nothing. Because he was one of the best welders in the area at like 16, 17 years old. Quit high school, and in his early 30s is clearing $250,000 a year welding. He does not have a formal high school education. Phenomenal dancer, by the way. For a gentleman that has to do a very, like, you know, rough hands, you know, kind of job. Light, and he's a big boy. He's farmer strong, okay? Light on his feet. Absolutely phenomenal dancer. Swing dancing, by the way. Just phenomenal dancer. Have danced with him. Phenomenal dancer. But, you know, he's making $250,000 a year without a regular high school diploma. Why? Because he got a 6-figure job offer the day he could start working that job. And yes, you know, Reth says welders have a shorter lifespan and end up with medical issues such as scoliosis. I would also argue that men in general have a lower lifespan because we don't go to the doctor. Right? And
also, we tend to skip PPE half the time.
Yeah, well, that's neither here nor there. The trades.
Honestly, here's a good, like, pro-life tip. Just keep a couple, like, little bags of EarPro earbuds in your bag at all times.
Oh, silicosis.
You never know when
not
you get
scoliosis. I totally read that wrong. Silicosis. I'm sorry. Yeah, that makes more sense. Sorry, Jacob, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, that one of the best pieces of advice I can give to anyone is if you want one piece of PPE that you can carry wherever you go, it's earplugs. You can get them in a little disposable bag, just put them in your bag, forget about them. But the one time you're in a position where you're like, I need earplugs, and if you don't have them, you'll get permanent hearing loss just because you don't have a 25 pence set of earplugs. Keep them in your bag. I keep 3 sets at all times in case I'm with people.
Oh, my car keys aren't on me. On my car keys, and like my house keys, I have a set of earplugs. Now, it's mainly for Florida man things, but I have absolutely used them out in public. Amber uses the loops, the loop ones. A lot of times because I'm very loud.
The last time I had to use my earplugs was because loads of firearms were going off around me. I went to a reenactment event where they had like 150 muskets 2 meters away from me, and I'm like, this is really cool. These are going in right now.
Like, I would love to see a welding mask that's also a papper. Why not? Why not? But yeah, this gentleman, I mean, my best piece of advice right now is if you're a young kid, maybe you're in high school and you're looking, you know, what you're going to do with the rest of your life, I would look up picking up some trade jobs, look up picking up minimally the basics on how to do it. and that'll give you some time to understand if you like it or not. You do not need a degree anymore to make good money. Degrees help, don't get me wrong.
Honestly, degrees have becoming less valuable as time has gone on.
Yeah.
More people are having them, and the jobs are needing degrees less and less because they are getting too advanced for something a university can teach.
Mhm.
The tech has moved on so fast. Take AI, for example. You can't get a degree that is up to date in AI because by the time you start that degree,
It's outdated.
2 weeks has passed and it's outdated.
It's outdated.
You've learned something that is
Yeah.
unreliable. It's like I actually feel really bad for all my software developer friends because they've done very good work. They are artists in their craft.
Mhm.
They cannot get a job.
Mhm.
Even though they have master degrees, some have PhD degrees, they cannot get a job because the companies that are hiring would rather get somebody untrained and train them up themselves because then they guarantee it's in the right field.
You know,
'Cause
this
the
is
tech
probably
so unique now.
this is probably a conversation we should have with my dad, because like he's a college administrator and has been one for longer than I've been alive. Right? If you want to meet my dad, we've interviewed him twice previously on the show before Jacob was a co-host for Father's Days throughout the years. He's got a really cool thumbnail. I think you guys will enjoy it. It was some sort of like empowerment thing, and they put Sharpie on his arms, and it's got words. I forget what it says. I think it says empowered. Now it's gonna bother me. Now I have to find what it says. Let's see.
Yeah, like the big thing I would say that
Season 2, episode 41. Be the shoulder to cry on. That's what it says. So his arms are like this. It says be the shoulder to cry on. But yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I was born in 1990. He graduated college in 1980 and never left. Was an administrator the rest. Diomeda says make another podcast with him. I probably should.
GP3D with a very interesting thing that I don't think they know the answer to because it's something that isn't told a lot. So the question was, boo, hiring managers with their entry-level 5 years of experience and 2 marriages required. So here's the interesting thing about 5 years of experience. If you get an American degree, so you go to university or college in America, by the time you leave your college/university, you have 0 years of experience. If you do the same degree in the UK, you start with a minimum 3 years of experience. If it's a longer course, it's that many years of experience. Degrees in Europe, the moment you're at university, that starts counting as years of experience for work. Now,
not in America.
The worst bit is, if we're in Europe and we hire an American, it's still 0 years of experience because of the way the American education system is built. Like, we cannot guarantee a level of quality from your degrees, whereas in Europe, there's a lot stricter rules about the quality of degrees, so they count as years of experience, whereas America doesn't.
It's like maybe you guys care about education a little bit more.
Yeah. So whenever you see someone...
Not to go full circle on that one.
But no, whenever you see a company that is like, you need 5 years of experience at entry level, what they're actually asking for is foreign. They're not asking for US, they're asking for people educated overseas.
And to be clear, right, if you've been watching the show for more than a couple episodes, you know that we were hiring editors, right? We have closed submissions. We are still doing final interviews. I know there's like 2 of you that are waiting for me to send out emails. Last week was
chaos.
A wash.
Just straight up chaos.
So I'm hoping to do that today or tomorrow. So you'll have emails to Book Times, Jacob and I, where we can do kind of our final interviews and reviews. But we specifically said we do not care about your qualifications. We hire based on soft skills, not hard skills. If you have qualifications, great. If you can do the work, great. That means we have to invest less money in you to get you to where you need to be. But ultimately, I'd rather have someone that has the soft skills and no hard skills than someone that has all the hard skills and no soft skills. If you can't communicate, if you can't work with a team, you provide little value to a business. I'm sorry. Specifically a small business. You might provide a lot of value to a big business where you're just a number. But in a small business where you often need to work with a bunch of other people and not just your direct supervisor, you have to be somewhat decent. at communicating. You have to be ready, willing, and able to work with others. And, well, you have to be willing to think outside the box. Those are qualifications that we looked for. We asked questions to people of things that would easily disqualify them if they didn't think outside of the box. And soft skills matter a lot. Now, I will say, if they're younger and they're lacking some soft skills, I don't blame them. The last 5 years have been complicated, right? Especially if you were in high school during human malware. You didn't learn soft skills. You were at home taking classes online. I don't blame a lot of the current young generation for not having those soft skills. And to be clear, I don't really have the best soft skills either. But they can be learned. You can get there. You just have to want it. Right? So, yeah. Rob Lutter's asking if I can talk about the Core 1 VFA fix. Noisy's video, good video. I don't think it's a valid fix.
I think it's subjective.
I don't. It's not a valid fix. You cannot expect everybody that owns a Core 1 to replace all the belts and pulleys. You can't do it. It's unrealistic.
Well, even that, the problem is it's one data point. You don't know if that
is
is
a singular
isolated case with that being a fix. You don't even know if something else, when that was being replaced, fixed the issue.
Yep.
It could just be way too many things to say that it's a fix. It's a great video.
Yep.
However, I don't think it actually fixes the issue. I think it just fixed
I think it hides it. I think it hides it. Now, we are still working with testing. We don't have a definitive answer yet. We are trying to isolate variables as best as possible. I don't want to go too deep into what we're doing because I don't want people to go down paths that might not be fruitful. I'm willing to go down paths that might not be fruitful because I can. Right? And ultimately, we want to present a multifaceted approach and solution with Prusa research rather than just do it ourselves and wait for them to catch up. I'd rather look at trying to motivate internally where we have the context. We are, blessed in that we have these contacts. We've worked hard to get these contacts. We know these people personally versus trying to do all the work ourselves without having someone that has 80 of these machines available at their disposal or however many it is to try the exact same testing on and see if it is consistent. Prusa did have a second blog post on the VFAs. We did see a recent firmware update from Prusa. So what I need to do right now is I need to do some VFA torture test prints.
Yep.
Update the firmware and do them again.
I will say,
change
I
nothing
think
else.
Tightening the belts, which is what a lot of the things seem to be coming out at, is not the right solution.
I don't think it is either.
I think you're putting extra stress on the motors. You're putting extra stress on the belt, which will stretch and eventually go back to the same tension as it was previously, because that's how belts
I don't
work.
think belt tension's that big of a deal as people think.
Honestly, so this is just a PSA for anyone watching. Belt tension means jack shit.
It's like blaming
slipping,
wet filament on every single print issue.
If your belt slips, it is too loose. If it does not slip, it is fine. That is all you need to know. Internally, we have a massive foot-pound meter for the belt tension that we do in the factory.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it is above a certain amount, which is where we can guarantee X amount of force before it slips, any tension past that does not change the end result until it becomes too high, at which point the motors start getting issues because the bearing stack on the inside bends slightly. You need, as an entire community, the lowest tension before it slips. Anything past that does not give you any benefit into speed, into VFAs, into quality of the part.
Kind of. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna let you keep talking, but real quick.
Go on. What's the but?
You have to make sure you don't have backlash. You can have a loose belt that doesn't skip.
Slippage. That's slippage.
Well,
so
no.
Backlash is part of slippage.
So, okay, back in the day, the way that we used to solve belt tension issues was a spring. You used to put a spring on the belt.
I've got loads of them. Yeah.
stupid. Stupid. Because if you start to move a printer really fast, that spring
The spring.
becomes a shock absorber, and it's
Yep.
right there. Now, J-Lo is sitting in here, Jenny from the block, if you will. If you don't, you should know who J-Lo is. They were in Print Fix 199, dealing with Flappy Belts, which is like a couple of characters away from being delisted from the Android App Store. Flappy Bird. I don't know, it's a bad joke. But J-Lo has gone through excessive testing. I kind of want to get J-Lo a Core 1 and have them
That would
burn through
that
it.
would be good.
But at the same time, again, it's a data point of 1. And if we're able to work directly with Prusa and say, okay, we tried this and it got significantly better. Can you try this too? Right? Because, like, I've got other machines, right? I've got, here. I can show you. I can prove it. Look, there's some Cheaties, some Fusion 3s. There's Bambus and Prusas and other machines. Like, I've got other machines here. It's not just, sorry for the craziness. It's not just what you see in my background. There's other machines here. We do a lot of printing here. I have not started print since I got home. I only woke up like 2 hours before the show.
Mother, you're allowed not to.
I got
work
home
for like a
less than
couple
12
hours.
hours ago.
You know what I
so-
would be very interested in finding out is if the Core 1 uses high or low inductance motors.
It's the exact same
'Cause I
motors
don't see
on the Mark
anyone
IV.
asking that question. I don't know what the Mark IV motors are.
I can send you the stuff.
That
I
would be
probably send you
interesting
motors.
so from a motor perspective, which is where I still think most of the issue will be lied, is either in a bearing or the motor. You, as a decision, you want to choose the highest inductance you can for the set speed you want to do. The lower the inductance, the faster the motor can spin before it gets back EMF to overpower. So it's basically a slider. If you want to do 2000 millimeters per second, you get an LDO superpower, which the inductance is basically 0, so it doesn't create back EMF. The downside, however, with low inductance, you get VFAs at lower speeds.
You do.
Like, it's awful at lower speeds. And there's that little niggle in the back of my head that is maybe the motors are mismatched for the speeds the printer is doing. Like, they might have just bought good quality motors, but the inductance might be wrong, or the bearing stack on the inside might be wrong. It could just be one faulty bearing somewhere, like stuff like that. And belts will make it look better, because adding a tightened belt to a low inductance motor adds torque. It slows down the speed of the rotor, so in theory it's spinning harder for every rotation, so it looks better. I have a gut feeling it might be inductance, but who knows? This is something that honestly Prusa Research needs to really be doubling down on with their testing.
And they're taking it very seriously, right? Again, I'm bypassing the traditional methods for doing this mainly because I can. I do not recommend that anybody else try to do this unless you have an already existing personal relationship with those exact people. Because otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. Right? I can be much more... I can be very simple and forward and say, this is what I think it is. Here's my evidence. Done. I don't have to beat around the bush. I can say, this needs to change. This needs to be different. We did this and it was perfect. Now I need you to try it. And
I think one of the big issues I see is a lot of the community only have one machine. And when you're
Yes.
doing this level of testing, you need 4.
minimum.
2 is not enough. 3 is a minimum if you want to get anything close.
I mean,
to
10 to me
accurate.
is where you start to get some sort of like reasonable. The thing is,
for,
it is
for like statistics. 4 is like the smallest pool size you can really trust.
Yeah.
5 is a good number. 10 is what I would be going for. I know for us, we do our batches on 20s, because once you get something repeatable across a number of 20 machines, even if it's like 2 machines out of 20, that's still a statistic that you can
it's
deal with.
10%.
Yeah, but having 2 machines out of 4, that's 50%. That's a big difference.
Yeah. But like so the concern with the Prusa VFA issues is it is not on every machine. It is not consistent on the machines that have it, and it is not consistently identical on all the machines that have it. So it is not as simple as Rob saying, people are blaming the motors because they switch from LDO as well. It is unlikely to be just the motors. But that is such an easy thing to test. Change out the motors. It's not difficult.
I can almost promise it's not the motor on its own.
No,
it won't be.
probably
The stepper motors are built so well nowadays. Even like
Even the
there
cheap
was a
ones.
post on Reddit that
Dude,
was that
This is a
stripped
stepper
the
motor from like 2018. Go ahead. Here. I'll put the entire lot number and everything right on the
Wow,
screen.
that looks like a
Automation
stepper
technology.
motor.
It's from 2017. Look at that lot number 20170327. So that would be March 27th, 2017 is when this motor was produced. I bet you I could put this on a modern 3D printer, put the right pin out, obviously, plug it in, it
will work fine.
make beautiful parts.
Yep.
Hell, it's probably better than some of the modern stepper motors that we have. I didn't realize the lot number was also going to be a date code, so that actually works out.
That's
I literally just grabbed it off the
like,
table. But
steppers are so well manufactured, it's unlikely to be the stepper. It's more likely to be a decision somewhere down the line or a faulty part, not the motor itself. Like, it could be a mismatched motor, meaning they bought the wrong motors for the type of machine they're building, but it's not the motor. Like, it's not the motor's fault that VFAs are there.
No.
It will be a decision somewhere. Like, maybe there needed to be reinforcement on something. Like, for one, if you put tighter belts, if you have any bearings, they might flex a little bit. They might push on the rods. That might get rid of VFAs because now you've added a stretch into something. That's why I don't really like everybody testing individual things, because you don't know.
yeah,
Like, one change, like tensioning belt, can affect the motor.
Like-
It can affect the pulley alignment. It can affect the belt pulley alignment. It can affect the mounting point on the hot end because it's pulling it out. There's so many variables with one change, which is I increase tension. And it goes for everything. It's just not cut and dry.
Yeah.
Painful.
It is a resonance issue. The VFA is from a resonance issue. We are aware of this. We know it's a resonance issue. We have some evidence to state that the power can vary. And now this is internally to the Discord. I have shared this evidence with Prussia. They
Power
are
can
currently...
vary.
Huh?
The power can vary.
The thing... I am trying not to be very public of exactly what we found, because I don't want people I don't want people taking what we're saying right now and saying, "Oh, they found the ultimate solution and it doesn't work for them," and then now I'm the asshole that went them, like, I am not going to provide. You know what? I'm going to step back from what I said previously. I am not going to provide any detail into what we're testing or why until we are ready to be fully public about it.
That's a good mindset to have.
Because we could be chasing a dragon. We could be going down the completely wrong thing. Now,
that was actually why I questioned it, because
we do have a mega thread.
Power variability is quite normal for machines with motors.
We do have a mega thread in the Discord, where we are working. There's a few of us that have machines with VFA issues. So it is not, so there are updates being posted there, but it is generally requested that this stuff is not shared publicly until we are ready to go public with it. Because when we go public, we want to have a solution that we know works. And it could be something really stupid, or it could be something very, very big. But I will tell you, belts and pulleys are not the solution, simply because the average user can't do it. Prussia will have to find a different solution and work, or if it is the belts and pulleys, Prussia will have to work around the belts and pulleys, because they can't trust the average user to do it. Jacob,
and you're the only one that can do it.
Send it to me in a DM.
No. Scan the printer.
Why?
Check the alignment of all the pulleys. You can actually do it.
It's a single piece. It's a single piece of sheet metal.
Ah.
So like the XY gantry I think it's 2 stacked plates, but they're laser cut like 1/4 inch thick or 5 mil thick steel. So I will happily get on a video call with you one day and we can look through it, but I don't think it's that because of the way the machine was designed. The entire like steel, and I'm looking at my core one. If you see me looking in that direction, I'm looking at it. The entire like body panels of the machine, that's also its frame, right? It has an internal C-style frame with a single crossbar going across it for structural support. But here's the cool thing, Jacob. Go read the instructions on how to assemble it, and you'll see exactly how it's built. Why? Because Prusa sells kits. But nonetheless, I don't want to mislead people by taking them down directions. I know testing is working on things outside of what we're doing, and they're not going to be privy with me on that because it's not their position to be. We are working on a solution. It might take time. That's all that I can say at the moment, because anything more than that is not appropriate. So, Andrew Rogers with the member for 26 months. Thank you, sir. Saying everybody knows you have to level your bed. And Bearded Printer with the $5 saying awesome content. Thank you very much, sir. Greatly appreciate you guys in supporting the efforts that we do here. But yeah, J-Lo, I'm happy to, you are more of a technical person. And we've had a bit of back and forth on technical stuff. Just DM me if you have things you want me to test. I'm happy to test it. I don't have an O-scope, but I can buy one. I just don't want to buy a
Good
very
excuse
expensive.
to get one.
Yeah, I've always wanted like one of those old Tektronic oscilloscopes, but I just don't want to spend that kind of money. And they're huge. So if I can get a cheaper, like generically crappy but good enough O-scope, I'll do it. But if I have to get one of those old tech scopes, I'm not gonna do it. It's I don't have the space for it right now. Yeah, J-Lo, just send me some links. If you got affiliates, send me the affiliate links. I'll buy it through your affiliate links. Just DM me on Discord. You can't post the stuff in the chat. But you know, look, no machine is perfect. I look at my X1 Carbon, I see VFAs on it. Are they as bad as the Core 1? No. Core 1's worse. Core 1's straight worse. But is Bambu willing to fix their VFA issue? Hell no,
okay.
they're not.
I actually wanted to bring this up because I saw this randomly. So I was at a friend's house yesterday, and I was playing a game of Scythe. So, ever played Scythe?
No.
It's a great board game. Highly recommend
Anytime
it.
you get it close to a
win.
hammer, I hear things.
So, one of the things that I noticed
I know
when
it's
I
a
was playing
sickle, but
Scythe,
it's close enough. You know, it's still a good joke.
there is the definitely not Russian Empire in that game. It's set in like a diesel punky like 1940s 1950s setting. Is a fantastic board game, really fun. You build your little empire on the same board as everybody else and you vie for resources. Fun game, highly recommend it. One of the things I noticed though was the little token boxes. So they have all those like polypropylene see-through clear packing boxes you get in board games that they put all the counters in. And I just held it up to the light because I was getting my food tokens out. And I noticed the surface finish of the part had obvious bit chatter in the surface. And I was like, oh, it looks kind of like VFA. Look, I'm so into 3D printing. I saw something that isn't VFA. And I was like, oh, it's VFA because I linked it. And then it actually brought me to the question of who cares? Like, this part has VFAs in terms of a CNC machine. It has bit chatter. It wasn't bad, but it was noticeable. It was quite noticeable, to be fair.
You're just persnickety because you know what to look for.
Yeah. Are we making a mountain out of a molehill in terms of VFAs across all printers nowadays? Like, if you scanned a part with VFAs, at which point does a VFA go from a surface issue, because the human eye is great at picking it up, to a tolerance issue?
I'm trying to find a part with really bad VFAs. I might have tossed it already. It's not from the Core 1. It's from a Q1 Pro. Yeah, I tossed it already.
Because like I'd be interested to
Trying to find a part
see,
with bad VFA. Oh well.
ignoring the visual element of VFAs, like, does at some point a VFA not become an issue because the part is still in tolerance, even though you can see it? And it could just be we're focusing on something we can see,
Mm-hmm.
when in reality it doesn't matter. It's like, if you ever done machining work on metal, you know the smallest thing your nail can feel is like a 30 micron like ridge. You can drag your nail across a part and feel a 30 micron ridge with your nail. That is good tolerance for some machines. Like that, you can make very usable parts for big manufacturing with 30 micron tolerance. A lot of machines only works at 100 micron tolerance when you have big scales anyway. So it you don't need perfect.
No.
And I saw this part and I looked at it going, well, these guys decided they're not going to sandblast the mold.
Perfection is
They're
the
just
enemy
gonna
of
leave it
good,
in.
right?
Yeah. Is this VFA issue that we're really trying to figure out because it's worse than everybody else's? Is it just we're focusing on it because it's worse than everyone else's? Or is it actually an issue? Like, are we trying to ask too much of our equipment at this point? Is a VFA just something we have to live with?
I don't think that it is. My answer is no. My answer is no, mainly because other machines that are significantly more affordable than that machine don't have this issue. So I'm not willing to live with it. I am willing to live with it at the same extent that other machines in the same price category have it. But I am not willing to have it be significantly worse. Like if we're within 10%, fine. If it is 5 times as bad, I'm not willing to deal with that because where's the value? And we've talked about this before. Every time that we have an issue with a machine, a game-breaking issue, we reach out to the companies to try to work with them first. You guys don't see this in the videos, but we do it first, okay? Before we make videos, we reach out to companies, try to work with them. Bambu basically told me to pack sand, so I went ahead and applied pressure. Did it work? Hell yeah, it worked. I called them out for giving me special support for being a content creator. They've been changing their policies. Did I get blacklisted in the process? Damn right I did. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. It'd be cool to have expensive machinery, but I don't care. It can't be bought. That's not what we do. I reached out to Cheaty. Cheaty messaged me. We worked back and forth for the +4, got solutions done. Cheaty said they'd put me on their beta testing team. They never did. So I got one thing good out of them, but nothing else. Okay, I'll take it. The one good thing that we got out of them was fixing a fire hazard. Right? We got that out of them. And if that's the good thing that we got, maybe we'll never work with them again. Maybe they did blacklist us because of it. Okay. If we get blacklisted because we care more about the safety of others than we do our own income and our own channel, so be it. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and be Mr. Nice Guy when people could get hurt from this. The people matter to me more. That's what I care about.
Yeah.
So with Prusa, I went to support. I asked support. I talked with support about it. I eventually said, why am I doing this? I can just go to my contact. So I go to my contact. He says, you've talked with testing. Just go talk with testing. I'm like, yeah? He's like, you have their email? I can't stop you from emailing them. Email them directly. Okay. No problem. And we've been working back and forth. Testing everything. Everything that has come up. Even the ideas that were like, there's no way. Like, both he and I are like, we don't think this is valid, and we don't think that this is something that matters. But we tried it. Hilariously, it did have a impact. It's just not a consistent impact. It didn't make it go away. It just changed the frequency. Again, I don't want to get too much into it, but it changed the frequency.
Fixing problems is not always the goal. It's identifying them. And if
Right.
something changes, that's important data.
Well, the
Doesn't
nice
need to
thing
fix
is, like, because of the way Prusa does their work, they are able to, instead of saying, we're going to fix this in hardware, they can just fix it in software. They can fix it by pushing out a special firmware update for the machines. That's the VFA Eliminator. What is it? Who knows? Some sort of acceleration and deceleration curve that keeps the machine from vibrating. Phenomenal. You've solved the problem. People are now happy. Maybe they'll like
I heard
and
you liked
subscribe.
Input Shaper. Let's make Input Shaper 2.
Yeah. I mean, look, I would love if, like, Ben Prusa's been very public about this, which I like. It did take a little bit of pushing to get it to where I'm happier about the level of publicity that we're seeing from it. But they have acknowledged publicly an issue exists. I will point out that it took less work from the community to get Prusa to admit to a VFA issue than it took the community to get Cheaty to admit to a fire hazard. So before you start getting your pitchforks and torches out and going after Prusa, remember the other people in this community and how difficult some other companies are to work with. I think Prusa is handling this very well. They're not rushing to conclusions. Are we going to see a solution in a reasonable amount of time? Great question, but I don't think you can expect to see a solution in the next 48 to 72 hours, okay? And if I'm going to be just a real cheeky piece of crap, Friday. What Friday? Dunno, but Friday, because that's the Prusa answer. The Prusa answer is Friday. But yeah, accountability is a big deal, as J-Lo says. Wild Mo with the €2 saying, keep on with the good content. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. And guys, we're at 147 concurrent, 82 likes. Don't forget to like the stream, please. Like when Volkswagen pushed out an update for diesel Passat cars, fixed their fudge emissions, effectively reducing horsepower and increasing fuel consumption. Yeah. God, I still think that was the best. Like, it's amazing that they got caught, but it's even more amazing.
It's funny how they just got around it.
Well, they built a system to detect when the car was getting emissions checked and to be able to force it into a slightly more efficient mode that was not good for driving, but perfect for emissions testing. It was amazing. It was amazing. Reth, I really should have reached out to you about this earlier, but you should probably be involved in this. For those who don't know, Reth is a unicorn chaser. Reth goes for, like, perfection. So we'll have to try to work together. So, anyways, I believe that we are moving in the right direction as the industry. I believe that there's a few vocal content creators out there. All of us have not a ton of subscribers, even combined, that are willing to call out companies. Some of us more professional than others. I do not call out companies professionally when they have not made a conscious effort to work with us. I believe I call them out as a pissed off customer, and that's appropriate.
Yep.
I am unfortunately...
You call them as a person, not an entity.
Correct. Yeah. I go at them with the same amount of frustration that I would have as someone who's dealing with problems with their machines.
Yep.
Right? And the same way that when we see people that get bad support from companies, if I have a contact at that company, I'll take a screenshot of what the person said. I will forward it over to that contact, and then the contact is able to decide how they want to handle it. If they look at this as a non-issue, if they look at it as an issue, if they look at it as a potential training opportunity. And out of all the companies that we've worked with, outside of like the kit companies, so like Voron and those are different. I don't really look at those the same way that I do the big manufacturers. Prusa has always been the one that is willing to say, we know we are not perfect. We are open and willing to accept criticism as long as it is constructive. So those that are just making fun of Prusa, you're not producing valid results for the community. And I think if anything, you're causing more harm than good. So many times it's best to think before you act in those situations. You might say, well, Grant, you don't do that. I do. You just don't see it. And that's okay. You're not always privy to every aspect of my life.
Oh, really? No, my parasocial relationship with you must mean that I know everything about it.
I had dinner in your dining room. This is not a parasocial
Look,
relationship
I was
anymore.
pretending to be the viewers, okay?
Oh, okay. And look, like, the parasocial relationship, it's such a weird thing. I could really talk about this for a while, because, like, I often look at our Discord people as, like, they're my friends. Like, when I was going to try Sammy's Chef Morocco food, I have our Moroccan fan's cell phone number, so I was texting him photos from WhatsApp. He's like, I totally forgot, I had your WhatsApp, and he sends me a picture of his newborn. Like, is that a parasocial relationship? Technically, because we've never met before. But so what? I would still go to him like I would go to someone if I needed help. If I was, like, whenever we go to travel overseas, I message him. He's a commercial airline pilot. He knows all the stuff that I don't. And we can get a lot of assistance. So while it is parasocial, it can be a little odd. Don't dog on it, man. We have such a great community of people in our Discord that are fun at times, frustrating at times, degenerates at times, and just...
What do you mean at times? All the time.
Okay,
Come on,
they're
be
degenerates
honest.
all the time. We even have an entire role for it, the Musketeers. Like, we even have an entire role in our Discord for it. But yeah, and it's why we decided to pay gate our community from the beginning, because while it does mean that you can't just access it for free, right? What we do is we have a much more tight-knit community, and I would argue that I'm probably one of the most active content creators in their own Discords. Mind you, I'm not in a lot of others. It's just what I've heard from other people in our server. So, GP3D Musketrolls Protopasta's next flavor of filament. God, they make some good colors, though. They really do. Do you have any Protopasta?
Nope. Never had it.
I've got some Protopasta. It's so heavily dyed, like the colorant, it leaves spots on your build plate of the colorant.
Okay, I like that then.
I can try to.
When are they going to
get it.
make an entire reel of like 90% colorant, 10% polymer instead?
That would smell so bad.
I know. But like everyone only adds like one nerdle in a batch of big stuff to make the color. I'm like, no, flip them around. Make it almost 100% pigment.
No. I know
Like,
I know
how
the weight.
stupid would that be?
Like, I know the weight amount of pigment to raw material. It's not as much as you think. However,
it's like, isn't it like 2 or 3%?
I
It's like
cannot
something
disclose the
ridiculously
exact
low.
amount. I cannot disclose it. I can tell you that
Obviously not for that, but like industrial average. I think isn't it
varies
like,
based
to be,
on
like,
the
under
colors.
5%.
It varies based, like, you don't need as much of like a white titanium dioxide white as you do for a gray. So
Yeah.
it varies a lot based on the color. Bright neon colors tend to need a lot more unless they're okay with being semi-translucent. But I also love when companies screw up. I know Polar's done, I think Print and Solid has done it too, where they accidentally had a run of black filament that had like half the colorant it should have been. So it was the right color black, but it was translucent. So it was like window tint. And I'm like, oh, hell yes, I love that so much. Yeah. Yeah, and as Catlet says, it's the world's most brittle filament.
Hell yeah. I
But,
want to look at it wrong and it stains my build plate just by looking at it.
So you just want to print with RIT dye.
Pretty much. I want you to like grab it off the bed and your hand comes off colored.
And as JLo says, from plastics manufacturing, most pigment companies do not disclose ingredients and have strict IP walls. Lots of pigment bases are quite toxic. Put them together and you have bad news. This is true. And it's something that a lot of the filament companies struggle with. It's why that in these bottles. This is not... I should use a bottle with black in it. This does not... This is PETG. I swear it's PETG melted in methylene chloride. Let me get one that's black, because
Sure,
otherwise
yeah.
it looks weird. So you can see there's some of it that's runny. If you notice, there's no pigment in the runny bit. There's no pigment at all. Why is that? Because the pigment is not soluble in methylene chloride. What is in the pigment? Don't know, but there are not many plastics that are not soluble in pure DCM, dichloromethane, ethylene chloride, same thing. There are not many pigments that are not, or not many plastics in general that aren't soluble in this material. And yes, these are nail polish bottles. No, I don't care. And yes, it works great.
No, you should not paint your nails with it.
God, please do not do that.
Don't do that.
That's
Actually,
dangerous.
do not do that.
That's cancer.
You want turbo cancer? That's how you get turbo cancer.
Yeah, that's known to cause cancer everywhere, including California. So yeah, it's a thing. And like for the Ecogenesis biopolymer stuff, the PHA that Polar is doing, Polar Filament, they had to get colorant that was also PHA based, or that was at least biodegradable, because otherwise they could only do natural PHA, and that was the only way that it would become biodegradable. It's one of those fun things. Dreams Boy said, wait, you're telling me if you blend a bunch of bamboo poop with a load of different colors, you can make a big stink? Technically, yeah. That's actually like one of the values. So we have different boxes of bamboo poop here. I use just old filament boxes for it. When I'm running nothing but PLA, I keep that, and that's the PLA poop. When it's PETG, it's PETG poop. If there happens to be a mixture of materials, that goes into the mixture pile. The mixture pile will eventually just get melted into bricks, into, you know, the melted bits. The other stuff gets melted down in methylene chloride and used as a thickening agent for chemical welding of prints. Yes, I use 3D gloop, or now called gloop. I have many bottles of the stuff. I love it. However, I like to often have something that is thicker than this. I know how to make, and I know how to handle methylene chloride, so I do it, because I can. Things like syringes, blunt tip needles, totally safe. For handling everything, it works out well. But you need to be careful and understand what you're doing, otherwise you're exposing yourself to toxic chemicals. I used to maintain a chemical handling license. I've done this for years. I am thankfully not as dumb as I look. Thankfully. D-Meta says, if you want to fuse PLA to ABS, which of the gloop do you use? Well,
doesn't methylene chloride work on both already?
It does. Yeah, it does. So either of them would work just fine.
There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah.
Both.
I would use the PLA gloop. The big thing with two dissimilar materials like that is making sure that you have gloop on both sides. You don't want to just put it on one side, then push it together and kind of rub it together, right, to thin it out some. And then also use a little bit more than you traditionally would, because you want it to flash off a little bit, just to be safe. Chris said something plastic pants. I did spill some methylene. I did spill some homemade gloop onto a pair of pants. But that's why you wear pants you don't care about when you're working on stuff. Should I have had on a shop apron? Probably, but it's thick denim jeans. It's basically the same thing. Don't be stupid. You know, I know my basic levels of exposure. So, but yes, when you're dealing with glooping dissimilar materials, put a little bit more on than you want. Let it flash off a little bit. And then put the parts together, rub them together a little bit to spread it out, and then hold it tight. That should work. It will take longer to dry, most likely, but you'll have a chemical weld, and it won't come apart. Dreams Voice said shop apron merch when. We're gonna
Ooh, that's a good
first.
idea.
No, we're gonna first do a lab coat that says resin is toxic on it. But my local embroiderer, I'm fairly certain, shut down. It's a
Oh.
little more complicated.
Now it's an excuse to buy your own embroidery machine.
No,
I'm sure Amber would love that.
she has a single
Amber.
needle. We're not doing more than that. Look,
Look,
here's the proof. Here's the proof.
Christmas is coming up soon.
Here's the proof. Amber
Oh,
made
that's
this.
adorable.
It's adorable.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it's adorable.
I'm just saying
Keep
they're
it-
not as expensive as you think.
I keep it magneted to the shelf above my desk so I can see it. It's my cat. I love her. Hard hat. Yep, 3M hard hat. Yeah. I don't know. Merch is always something that I'm very hesitant on because I always worry that we're gonna do something wrong. We're gonna upset people, but whatever. Nonetheless. Anything else we should cover? Or are we kind of coming
don't
to?
know.
I think we're coming to like a kind of a natural ending here.
I'm just saying, like, you could get an embroidery machine for like 2,000 industrial grade.
No,
Just saying.
no,
Just saying.
no, no,
Think of all the merch
No.
you can make.
no, 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 no,
You
no,
get a side hustle.
no. I don't need another
Vines
business.
culture.
No, I don't need another business. Really, it's not even the production that's the problem. The production is not even the problem of this. It
You
is.
get free labor as well.
It's not the
just get Amber.
production. The problem with all of this is 100% the fulfillment. It's fulfillment.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I don't like fulfillment. It's such a pain.
GP3D wants to do custom filament colors. We have thought about it. We've thought about it. I am currently logging what colors customers ask for. Unfortunately, black and white are going to win because we have one customer that orders lots of black and lots of white.
You know
so
what? A grant approved white would go hard.
Design white from Printed Solid. Done. There you go. Enjoy. It's grant approved.
Even better. There we
Grant
go.
approved. Have you ever seen it?
No. I will say my favorite white is whatever the crap that Creality gave on their Ender 3, because they gave you a little spool of white.
Oh, it was
and it
semi-translucent.
just looked so good because it was semi-translucent.
Yep. Yeah, let's see where the design white is. I just get my ass, basically. Did I get it the first pull? Hell yeah, I did. All right,
There
let's
you
compare
go.
it to a regular white. There is an Elegoo PETG white.
And
Okay.
no wild mode. Console 3D will not be making an embroidery machine. We'll be making drones next, of all things.
So, there are your two whites.
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to get them both like in the same light. This here, this is your Printed Solid design white. This is Elegoo's white PETG Pro. If you notice, design white has a little bit of gray, just a skosh of gray. And literally, if I put it up against my chest, it's very obvious with like that black background.
Yeah.
That it's got a skosh of gray in it. It's so good. It is such a good white. It's not a pure white, right? You have to be mindful of it, that it's not a pure white. But it was designed for like architects. So it's designed for like architect colors and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yep.
Polar has some good whites. Yeah. How are they for HueForge? No clue. I suck at HueForge. At some point, we're gonna have the HueForge guys on, and they're gonna teach me how to do HueForge, but I can't.
Yep.
I just can't.
When we get our index machine built, we'll be trying HueForge then. Until then, probably not going to do it. Even when we release our multi-material unit, we're probably not going to do it because it just...
I've done some
more of an index thing.
HueForges. It is... it's the same thing like with CAD. where you have to be in the right mindset to do it, because otherwise it doesn't work. Right? Like, if you're in the right mindset to think about how to do the color swaps properly for HueForge, it's easy. But if you're not, it's a problem. So. Yeah, I think I think we
that's
covered it,
pretty much
right?
everything. Yeah,
We-
we've kind of come to a natural conclusion.
Yeah, we're gonna save the Snapmaker U1. I think we just do that for next week. I think that'll be a
Yeah.
fun episode for next week.
It'll be nice to see more footage released, so I can really make a mindset up on it.
Yeah,
I
we've
want
only
to see that
seen like
kinematic coupling a lot more.
we've only seen some like teaser things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we didn't cover a ton about the Bambu software, but neither of us have really used it. I think a lot of it was just be like, yeah, no, we don't actually hate this. And this is
The big thing was it's surprisingly good. That's it. It's a different tone coming out of Bambu Lab, and I approve of it.
the way that they're handling it is good. And I hope that they continue to push the olive branch to the community, because I think that's what they really need to do. They have lost a lot of good faith in the community over these, past couple of years. And, maybe it's too late, maybe it's not. I don't know for sure. But certainly, I'd like to see them try.
Yep.
I would love to be able to give Bambu another chance. From a personal standpoint, I don't know if I ever can from a business standpoint. So
The data security side it's still a open question mark. As much as they might repair roads, once that bridge was burnt initially, there's still going to be ash left behind.
that's right.
The only challenge.
That's right. Well, everybody, thank you for coming out. Thank you for hanging out with us on the 235th episode of the Making Awesome podcast. Remember to stay till after the outro to win some filament.
Yep.
But a huge thank you goes out to the sponsors of the show. We've got Construct 3D, 3D Musketeers, Printed Solid for the filament giveaways. Of course, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, donate, support via Patreon, PayPal, YouTube channel members. Links of all of that are in that description down below. That is all we have for you all today. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. And I gotta stop the face cam recording. Gotta stop
There we
all
go.
the recordings.
Oh, stop that coding. Oh, and it's remuxing.
Yep. Oh, yeah, the remuxing takes forever.
Yep. Actually, I'm already on 6%. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have a nice computer.
I wouldn't go that far. My nice computer is dying around me as we speak.
That's fair. That's true.
I
All
do-
right.
It's interesting that my PC only dies when I am on stream. Something's going on. I might just rebuy all the cables. Just all of the DisplayPort cables and just replace them all to make sure it's not that.
Not a bad one to try.
And if it works, so be it. And if it doesn't, so be it. I have
Yep.
some spare cables.
See, in the States, we have Monoprice. I quite like their cables. Cheap, easy, good cables. Gergman, Gergman. Although something tells me you might have spelled your own name wrong. Well,
Doug asking how many tabs I have in Edge. Like when
Doug,
you have...
no, Doug. Doug, we don't do that. We don't call each other out like that, all right? It ain't that kind of show. All right?
I'm just saying, like when you have so many windows open, it stops being the icons of each window and it turns into the list. The list is 27 inches tall. It's bad.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm this is gonna go on the Discord so everybody can see how many tabs, not even tabs,
Jacob,
windows
we
with
don't
tabs
do
that I have opened.
that. We don't do that.
It is using 60% of my RAM as well.
Jacob.
What?
Jacob, don't
I am
do
bad
that.
at this. I like to suffer.
All
The
right.
pain makes me tell me I'm still alive.
How many rolls should we give away, guys? Let us know in those. Let us know in the chat. On the upside, Grant's video stream was pretty error-free this week. Yes, it has been more stable. What? So
That's how
weird.
many. That list is how many I have open.
I am not
And
giving
it is
away
in this
that many.
text
They want me to
box.
give away 42 spools. Dude, we'll be here for another 3 hours. But yeah, that's not gonna stop me from having the shirt. So the main shirt. And Da Vinci, I know I've explained like 3 different times during the show. I got back home at 3:30 in the morning. I have not had time to put together the filament orders. They are 100% manual. I have to manually do every single person's order myself. It's a pain. I don't want to, but it's pain. So it's just the way that it goes. Things take time. I know you're there.
Watch Grant suffering from his own success.
Ugh.
Look at him suffer.
I need more help.
Yes,
Really,
you
what
do.
I need is I need a bigger space. I need a bigger space. So, that's the big thing. Clownhammer won it. So I could tag you, so that's good. Just DM me on Discord. It's really the best way to do it, because that won't get buried in a mile of other emails. You just DM me on Discord, and those stay at the top of my Discord. It's nice.
Yep.
Let's see if this person's in
Look,
there.
my remuxing just finished. Nice.
Have mine finished?
Probably the fastest ever done.
Nope, I'm at 39%, but I'm also still streaming, so.
Yeah.
All right, and the final third one is Scotty Almond Joy, which I could tag them. So that is... Where'd they go? Am I dumb? I thought I had their names listed, but I did. Okay, there they are.
What have
Okay,
you done?
geez, that took. It's hard to search in Google spreadsheets sometimes because I don't want to mess up the order of the names. I have to keep them ordered correctly. So, yeah. I don't think Steve is streaming today. I didn't get a link from him for today, but let me just check. I think he's at Open Sauce. Yeah. Yeah, Steve's not streaming today. So, I guess I don't know where to send you guys now. It all feels weird. It feels like I'm just leaving you all. But all right. We'll see you all. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good
Stay
one.
safe out there.
Enjoy. Don't get into trouble. And if you do,
No,
record
do
it and
get
put it
into
on YouTube.
trouble, but don't get caught.
yeah. And if you're a part of our Discord, see you in the Discord in like 30 seconds.
I will restart my PC before then, so
You'll see
probably
me in
1
like
minute,
30 seconds. See you later.